It made me read it. I didn't have an Emily Baldoni. I didn't have an Emily Baldoni to shut it down. I had no option then to read it. Okay.
Where are we here?
All right. Yes. Okay. I'm here. We're 40. Dang it. Okay.
Yeah. I think
were we just going up here? No.
Yeah. Down there, right there.
We're right here, 46. Okay. Yeah. So 14 of 184. Carol, you good? Hannah, if you're following along, we're on page 14 of 184, which is technically page 46.
And you want me to read just the stenographer part, or
whenever there's a third party,
there's a third person.
Got it.
So to continue, and if you're just catching up, Bocce is Ms. Kavinsky. I'm Nicole Alexander. Carol is Kevin Fritz with the objections of the century, and Hannah's gonna be our stenographer, our videographer, any other fourth person. Hannah's gonna be that for us. So yeah, Hannah, your mic can stay muted till you have to come up. That way, like if you have to do something in your background or anything, you don't have to stop for us. And if you do forget your lines, we will remind you by screaming. You will know.
Yeah, I don't want to mess up the audio because I don't.
You won't miss your lines. Don't worry. We will scream at you. Carol gets relief today.
All right. Did you use artificial intelligence to assist in the drafting of the report in any way?
So yes, because everything technically has AI in it. So I use Google Docs in order to develop the report. So Gemini is attached to that, and I have Gemini for my Google Docs.
Can you explain?
But I did not use generative AI, if that's the question.
Can you explain the difference?
So AI is the higher level. It is an algorithm. Most things that you use, including Zoom right now, has AI running in the background in some way, shape, or form. Generative AI is specifically developing net new. Of course, my camera would shut down. Okay, it's back. Net new content in creative versus reshaping, copy editing, copywriting, things of that nature.
So when you say you did not use generative AI, did you mean that you did not use AI to write the report?
I did not use generative AI in any way, so.
Even to edit the report?
Objection.
Correct.
Your report refers to the concept of hallucination, and it defines it as generating plausible but factually incorrect information. Is that right?
Correct.
What does that mean?
Objection.
You can answer.
Carol, I will fire you.
It says objection, you can answer.
You're supposed to say objection, you can answer.
Oh my gosh, okay. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. All right, so it means to develop something that would come next based on high propensity, that would be rational and make sense with the context that the rest of the sentence structure has developed. So it's looking at statistically, does this make sense as the next element within the string of words?
So what would that look like? You know, if you're looking at a paper or something, what would a hallucinated content look like?
It can look like a myriad of different things.
Sometimes are citations hallucinated?
Citations can be hallucinated, yes.
And what does a citation that is hallucinated look like?
I'm not sure exactly how to answer that. What does it look like?
Well, is it like the title might be wrong, or the authors might be wrong, or the page numbers? Like, what would it look like?
Objection, you can answer.
So that could just be human error. So hallucinations are usually something that does not actually exist in real life.
Okay, so if like ads authors, for example, that were not responsible for the publication, that could be a hallucination?
Objection.
It could be.
Oh, sorry. I'm
Girl. It could be, but that's not. It could be a hallucination. However, that doesn't mean that it is a hallucination. So I have students get footnotes, citations, bibliographies incorrect all the time. There's a myriad of different reasons. One of the reasons could be a hallucination.
And how do you check what the reason is as a professor?
I mean, I don't normally grade on the accuracy of the way that they use references and bibliographies. I make sure that they exist. But aside from that, I don't necessarily debate if it's APA, MLA, or if they've completely gotten it accurate.
How do you make sure that they exist?
Objection.
Normally, one of my CAs or TAs will go in and check. It's just part of the process I have with them.
To run it through like Google Scholar or something like that?
Objection.
There's different ways of checking. So
What are the different ways of checking?
it depends on how they submitted it. It could be a check system that the university uses. It could be through asking for a link specifically if it's an online article or Googling or using Google Scholar.
When you said a check system that the institution uses, what do you mean? What kind of check system?
Most universities, when you submit something as a student, they have different software solution packages that will check to see if there are irregularities.
Are you aware of any software packages that check for irregularities?
One is Turnitin. That's the only one I can think of offhand.
Have you heard of Grammarly?
Yes, I don't know any universities that use that though as a check, but yes, I know Grammarly.
What about GPT-0?
I don't know that one.
So other than Turnitin, you don't know of any other system checks that universities use to check student papers?
No.
Why strike that? You mentioned the system that you have with your TAs. What system do your TAs use?
Depending on how I've set up the submission, it would either be Turnitin or via checking through Google.
Do you have?
I don't specify.
Objection.
I'm sorry, I thought you finished. Go on.
I don't specify usually.
So you let the TA choose whatever checking system they would want to use.
Objection.
The TA or the course associate, yes.
Okay, and how do you know that you can rely on the outcomes of whatever checking system they've used?
I've hired them, so I have faith in them and the ability to make the right checks.
So if they run a student paper through an AI checker and it says there is a high percentage chance likelihood that this is AI, do you believe the checker?
No, I don't allow them to run it through AI checkers because AI checkers they're not accurate at the end of the day. So I don't allow them to use AI checkers. Just to be clear, I said Turnitin for things like citations that uses probability or Google to actually look up. So they're not AI, they're not using AI checkers, they're looking up the citation itself.
Okay, well, what about the content of your students? Well, let me back up for a second. You're a professor at NYU and Columbia, right?
Correct.
Okay, do you create your own syllabi for those classes?
For the classes that I've created, yes, I create my own syllabi.
Okay, and are those available online at all?
The ones for Columbia for this semester is definitely.
Okay, and what is the class that you're teaching at Columbia this semester?
It is AI in the knowledge organization.
So does your syllabi in that course discuss any academic policies for the class?
Yes.
Like what?
Objection. Go ahead.
The academic policies are quite frankly a cut and paste, so all of the syllabi have the exact same academic policy.
When you say all of the syllabi, it's all of the Columbia syllabi or all of your syllabi?
All of the syllabi within the college I teach in has the exact same academic policy.
And how does that syllabi discuss the use of AI, generative AI?
So we are allowed to make distinctions on AI specifically. That's the one you want because it's not technically it's not a Columbia-wide policy. So that one I wouldn't call a policy. That's up to the discretion of each professor.
Okay, so what is your policy?
It has to be disclosed.
What has to be disclosed?
The use of AI and how the AI was used.
Okay, so how do you enforce that policy?
Well, the students actually, the students for the semester have always disclosed. I've given them examples of how to disclose, and that is enforced based on things like if it appears that someone has used it and hasn't disclosed, I address it with them. If they have submitted something which didn't happen, if they have submitted something that appears not to be in their work in general, and again, there's other reasons for that outside of AI, then I address that with them as well.
So you said if it appears like it was created by AI, what are some of the telltale signs of AI usage?
If it appears that they have used frameworks incorrectly, for instance, if they have especially ones that may show up in the AI overview, if there is any language that they use that just simply is not normally used by them, again, after working with the students for a semester, you know the way they, number one, communicate and usually how they write.
So how do you check whether their material includes generative AI?
Objection. You can answer.
Frankly, there is no way to definitely check.
Okay, not definitively, but do you just take their word for it when they say, no, I wrote this, and you don't do any sort of additional checking?
Objection. You can answer.
As I mentioned, it would depend on the case. So what specifically it looked like they did, and then I would understand how to address it appropriately.
So it's all subjective. Is that your testimony?
Objection.
Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned that you find AI checkers unreliable. What did you mean by that?
There's actually third-party research that shows that they're not reliable, depending on they take into account things like colloquialism, the way you write. There is different signatures that are attributed to AI, which simply don't make sense in real life. So I'm sure you've heard things like using ampersand. People use ampersands to write, particularly dependent on the individual's age, how they were educated, things of that nature.
You talked about universities checking for AI. Do you know whether the universities for which you work use AI checkers?
The colleges that I work for within the universities do not use AI checkers for any of the classes I'm aware of.
So how do colleges discipline individuals if they suspect that a student is using generative AI?
Objection. You can answer.
There's a conversation for the ages across education, so there's no answer to that currently.
So it's your testimony that there are no AI checkers that provide any how do you say that? Indicia?
Indicia?
Okay.
Like I think it's like an indicator. Yeah.
Oh,
Indicia.
gotcha. Of the use
Indicia.
of generative AIs?
Fritz?
Mr. Fritz?
Objection.
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
So it's your testimony that there is no AI checker that can reliably predict the use of generative AI?
Yes, that's my opinion. Yes.
And what if a student's paper is entered into multiple AI checkers and they all come back with a high percentage of likely to be AI? Is that also, in your opinion, not reliable?
Objection.
So to my understanding and the research that I've seen, most AI checkers are all using the same way of codifying what the assumption of AI is. And again, this is simply third-party research that I've read. So no, I don't have a trust that AI checkers do an adequate job of definitively or even statistically significantly providing that something is AI versus not AI.
Your report includes a number of charts. Who made the charts?
The charts were made by Taylor.
So earlier, when you testified that 100% of her time was dedicated to the data analytics, would that include the work on the charts?
Yes. 1 second. I want to take a quick pause because I think some new people are joining us and they're trying to figure out who is who and who's the position this is. We're reading the deposition. We're doing the deposition for Nicole Alexander, who is an expert witness for the Wayfair parties, part of the people who determined there's no smear campaign. So I'm playing Nicole. Bocce is playing Kavinsky, who was a lawyer for Blake Lively, asking the questions. Carol is Fritzy, Kevin Fritz of Wayfair, doing the objections. And Hannah, who is from the chat, is here to be any fourth person, stenographer, if Brian Friedman wants to come back in, whatever the case may be. So if you're just joining us, that's where we are. We're going to pick right back up because it's 300 pages and we are barely on 50. So we got a long way to go.
58, right?
All right. 58, yes. So the charts are data analysis.
So to what extent did you QC the charts?
So looking at the charts, I looked at the data sets and the code for which she provided that generated the visuals to make sure that they were accurate.
And when you say the data sets, those are the data sets that Ms. Hunter created using the scrapers we talked about.
Correct.
Okay, let's look at your CV. If we pull up your report, we can go to page 93, and I'm going to ask my colleague Autumn to share the report on the screen so we can all speak the same language. Autumn, are you able to share? Autumn, are you able to share?
It actually looks like Autumn is not on this call. Oh, here she is. She's rejoining right now.
Ooh,
Good job, Hannah.
Yay.
Good job, Hannah. Hannah was paying attention. Chat, can we get some
it.
fires? Can we get some claps in the chat for
Yes,
Hannah? That was so
That's
good.
I'm famous now.
Ready to go.
I was looking. I was like, Hannah, don't let us down now, girl. Don't let us down now.
and didn't
Thank
didn't
you.
let us
That
down.
was such a flow. You did great. You did great. That was such a flow. Okay. All right.
I think I can share. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
And this is the expert report that you submitted in this case, right?
Do you want the witness to access the document herself so she can scroll through it?
If she wants to.
Okay, are you able to do that, Miss Alexander?
I'm downloading it right now. Yes.
Do we need to go off record for you to review it, or are you able to take a look and let me know if this is your expert report?
We'll stay on record, and she will review it to ensure that it is what you say that it is.
I just want to confirm that this is the amended report.
Is it your testimony that you provided an amended report?
Here, one
Objection.
second. I do not think this is I don't think this is the amended one.
When did you produce an amended report?
I sent the amended report November, the week of November 3rd, or the week after.
Counsel, we have not received an amended report. This is the only report we've received from Ms. Alexander.
I will check with the team whether that's accurate. You want to take a...
Yeah, we're going to have to, take a break, because if she's amended her report, then we're going to need to consider other options.
Okay, do you want to take a break now?
Yeah, we're going to go off record until you reach a resolution on this.
Well, why don't we just take 5 minutes?
We'll take as much time until you figure out if there's an amended report, because I'm not going to continue a deposition if this report is not her current report. So let's go off the record.
How would you like me to get back to you on the Zoom?
Sure.
All right.
We are off the record. It is 12 p.m. Recess. We're back on the record. It is 12:09 p.m.
Oh, you're good at this. I like it.
Why do you sound so like Siri?
So professional.
Off the record. 12 p.m.
No, that's why I
09.
love it.
It was so good. I love it.
I used to do mock trial.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hannah,
great.
Okay, Hannah's an instant star in my book.
It's
That's
great.
really
Hannah,
well
We're
done.
tapping you in for all depositions moving forward.
This is real good work.
You sounded
okay,
like
Miss-
AI, Hannah, pun intended.
Okay, Miss Alexander, the report that I previously entered as 001 was the original report that you produced in this matter, right?
I can't confirm that. I just looked for the amended report, so
Okay, can you please open the report that I marked as 001 and confirm that was the original report that you provided?
yes, it is.
And I've introduced Exhibit 2, which you should see in the folder, which is the amended report, Exhibit 2 marked for identification. Do you see that?
I didn't receive the link originally, so someone shared it at the top of this hour. Since he closed out the Zoom, I don't have the link anymore.
You don't have the link to the exhibit share?
No, when I exited the Zoom, the chat functionality went away.
Okay, let's go off the record.
Off the record. It is 12:11 p.m. Recess. We're back on the record. It is 12:12 p.m. Thank you.
Miss Alexander, is the second item what I've marked as Exhibit 002, the amended report in this matter?
It is.
Why did you amend your report?
I found two elements in the original report that were a problem with the visualization and reference to one of the standard deviations.
Okay, we will get to that in a moment, but I would like to direct your attention in 002 to your CV, which is Appendix A. Did you make changes to Appendix A between the first and second report?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, and if I refer to the first report, you understand it's the Exhibit 001, and if I refer to the amended report, you will understand that's 002.
Yes.
Did you draft the CV?
Yes.
And when did you draft this?
It's an adaptation of my normal CV, so I adapted it for this report.
Why did you adapt it?
Just because my regular CV is more practitioner focused.
Sorry, you were saying more practitioner focused?
Yes.
What is the difference between a practitioner and an expert focus?
So I would say this would be more academic focused, what you're seeing in Exhibit 2. So it's giving additional information around my speaking engagements, my book. I think those are the key differences. And then chronologically, just where I place information.
So what are some of the differences in the CV versus your regular one?
Let's see. Sorry, I just have to get down to that page. It would be, as I mentioned, the detail of my speaking engagements. That's not in my practitioner CV. I don't have my book in my practitioner CV.
Why don't you have your book in your practitioner CV?
Well, I haven't added it because I haven't needed to, but usually you wouldn't necessarily put that in a practitioner CV.
Why not?
Objection. You can answer.
It's the norm. Oh,
Oh,
I'm sorry. It's not the norm.
did you modify your short bio in any way?
Probably yes.
How did you decide to modify your CV?
My overall CV, is that the question or the short bio?
Oh, sorry, the overall CV.
I did it the way I would do it for academia. So it's more similar to my academic CV
So why didn't you use your academic CV?
because it's outdated. I haven't updated it.
I see. You were just updating your academic CV.
Yes. So I would normally take this and I would copy it into my academic CV moving forward.
Did anyone at Liner Friedman assist you in editing this CV in any way?
No.
Instruct the witness not to answer questions designed to disclose attorney-client privilege. Sorry, I wasn't finished with my objection. Attorney-client privilege.
It was a speaking objection.
Sorry, I wasn't finished. I would just caution the witness not to disclose any information that would be protected from disclosure by the attorney-client privilege.
Is all of this information in the CV accurate?
So let me just get back to the CV. I apologize. I had my local one open, not this one. Yes, everything is accurate.
I should have asked, do you have anything else open on your computer right now?
No, just my original report, the one I didn't download. So I closed that.
Okay, so when you were looking at your local CV, you were looking at a copy other than what is in either of the reports.
No, I had the amended report that was not downloaded that's sitting on my desktop. I had that open in order to answer the earlier question of is this different? Is this amended or not amended? So I've subsequently closed that. So I just want to make sure I was looking at the correct document. I'm now looking at the document exhibit 2 that I downloaded.
Okay, you've testified there is no difference between the CV in the original report and the CV in the amended report, right?
I don't believe there is. I'm looking at exhibit 2 right now.
Okay, so what in the short bio, speaking just about the short bio, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for 002 just to speed this up and make sure we're talking from the same document. Do you see what is on my screen?
Yes. Can you zoom just a little bit? Yes.
So what in this short bio is different here as compared to what you've called your regular CV?
All the content is identical. I may verbalize it slightly differently, but it's pretty much the same.
Okay, so your CV says that, oh, sorry, everything in this short bio is accurate?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it says current NYU professor. That actually is probably the outdated. It should say current Columbia professor. Excuse me.
You no longer teach at NYU?
I am not currently teaching there. No, I finished teaching the semester at Columbia.
When did you stop teaching at NYU?
The last time I taught was 2022. Sorry, the last time I taught a full semester course was 2022.
Okay, well, what have you taught since then at NYU?
I teach like seminars depending on if they need me.
Like one-off seminars or courses?
No, no one-off seminars.
And that's considered being a professor there?
Objection.
Yes.
Okay. How many seminars have you taught since 2022?
For NYU, I don't know. I would say 3, both, maybe 3.
Okay, and how many courses, how many times did you teach a full semester course at NYU?
How many times? Like over the years?
Yeah, a full semester course.
I don't know. I would have to check.
Okay, at least 15, you think?
Not sure. I would rather just check to make sure I'm accurate.
Why did you stop teaching full semester courses at NYU?
No particular reason, mostly because I was working full time as well. So,
Okay, so when you say when the short bio says current NYU professor, that is not accurate?
Objection. You can answer.
I'm not actively teaching, correct?
Okay, and when your academic appointments right below says, as read, adjunct professor of marketing technology, NYU 2013 to present, is that accurate?
So as an adjunct, you can come in and teach one semester, skip 3 years, come back, teach one semester. That's the whole point of being adjunct.
Got it. So when it says 2013 to present, it's just in case you come back to teach a full semester course in the future.
Objection.
Correct.
So you would consider yourself a current adjunct professor of marketing and technology at NYU?
Yes.
Okay, and what about at Columbia University? Are you a current professor at Columbia University?
Yes.
How many courses do you currently teach at Columbia?
The semester just ended, but one normally.
And how many credits is that course for?
I'm not sure. I would guess 3.
Oh.
I'm back.
Okay. How many times a week does that course meet?
Once a week.
Is this the right title of that course? Teaching AI for the Knowledge-Driven Organization?
Yes, correct.
What does that course teach?
It teaches practitioners or future practitioners about how to look at AI from a strategic perspective, from an executionary perspective, how to think about the technology side as well as the business implications.
Okay, I'm going to go off of this I'm just going to stop to the share for a second. Your CV lists a Bachelor's of Science from NYU with a degree in leadership management. Is that right?
Hey, I have that degree. Correct.
When did you graduate from NYU?
With my bachelor's degree?
Yes.
2012.
What is a degree in leadership and management?
Objection. You can answer.
Is looking at the leadership skills, understanding how to manage. I had a focus in marketing. So quite frankly, I remember more of the marketing courses than other courses for a bachelor's degree.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen again, actually. So when you say here, BS Leadership and Management NYU, it doesn't mention marketing, right?
No, but it was a concentrate. Oh God. I actually answered that, but like legitimately, okay. I didn't list my concentration. No.
Okay, well, what does a concentration mean at NYU?
Objection. You can answer.
I believe for any undergraduate degree, it's what your focus is that you decide to focus in.
Does your degree show a concentration in marketing?
On the paperwork, I'm not sure.
And is leadership and management the major? Is that what it's called?
Leadership and management is the degree.
That's the degree. Okay. How is a degree in leadership and management relevant to your assignment in this case?
I'm not sure.
Is it relevant to your assignment in this case?
Objection.
I look at it like my life skills, my education all culminates to who I am now. So I would say yes.
But your particular degree in leadership and management, how is that specific degree relevant to your assignment in this case?
Objection. You can answer again.
I think that the focus that I had around marketing is relevant to the jobs that I've taken as well as my role as an expert in this case.
Okay, so it's relevant to the extent that it afforded you access to jobs in marketing, which then informed your opinion in this case. Is that right?
Objection. You can answer again.
1 second. Yes.
Okay, and then your CV also lists an MST in Artificial Intelligence, Ethics, and Society. What kind of degree is that?
It's a graduate degree at the University of Cambridge.
Okay, MST, that's a Master of, what does ST stand for?
Studies.
And it doesn't list a date. When did you attend Cambridge?
2023 to 2025.
So you received that degree?
Just received that degree. I did.
When did you receive it?
My class was conferred over the summer sometime.
Okay, did you move to Cambridge for this program?
I did not.
So how did you receive this degree from Cambridge?
Objection.
How did I study? Is that the question?
Yeah, was it a remote virtual program? I'm just trying to understand how you took courses.
It was part-time, so it was hybrid. That's why it's a master's of studies and not a master's of philosophy. So MPhil is for full-time students, master's of studies is for part-time hybrid students.
Okay, so that's why it took you from 2023 to 2025. That was the 2 years because it was a part-time program.
Correct.
Okay, and so what is a master's in artificial intelligence ethics in society?
So we study the roots of AI from a power philosophy perspective. We also we look at insights and how AI has developed, the use of AI, particularly across, public society, organizations, government.
So, do you, as part of this program, study AI technology itself?
Yes.
So, tell me about those aspects of the degree.
Objection. You can answer.
We looked at things such as how LLMs are created, some of the biases that go into LLM based on the data sets, how LLMs are developed and built, everything from the natural language processing through fine tuning the LLM. We also look at things like small language models as well. There is a lot, I'm not sure specifically what to highlight.
How many courses did you take in those aspects specifically, what you just described?
So they're not individual courses the same way you think of an undergraduate degree. They're interwoven into each of the different semesters.
So, there are no courses, it's just a general kind of programming, is that right?
It's programming, yes.
So, how many classes were specifically on what we just discussed in terms of LLMs and how they are created, etc.?
It came up in each program that we talked through.
What does the program look like? How many times a week were you in school for this degree?
In school, I'm sorry?
In classes?
Objection. You can answer.
So there's a specific amount of classroom hours that any degree granting has to have. I don't know what that is offhand. I was physically in Cambridge around 2 weeks every quarter or every term, excuse me. They use a different verbiage every term. We use that too in Ghana. And there was a remote work where we had to log on. So long story short, I'm not sure offhand.
So you're not sure how many total hours you needed to participate in order to receive that degree?
Objection. You can answer again.
Sorry, I didn't hear your answer.
I'm not sure offhand.
Any ballpark?
I wouldn't venture to guess. Over 2 years, I'm not sure.
Was it sporadic or something you did every week?
No, it was done every week.
And to what extent is your Master's of Studies degree in Artificial Intelligence Ethics and Society relevant to your assignment in this case?
It gives me a deeper understanding. It gives me a deeper understanding of specifically how LLMs operate, understanding how looking at the ethics or the elements around the AI, particularly around things like manipulation across social media, which was specifically one of the my areas of studies, how that culminates, how to think about identifiers, and how AI is leveraged, pro or con, in marketing.
And all of the other experience in your CV predated the receipt of this degree, right?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Objection.
I will withdraw the question. Your CV also lists lists an executive MBA. What is an executive MBA?
It's MBA, but for executives. It doesn't really answer the question. It's a part-time MBA that is targeted specifically to usually executives with a certain amount of years of experience to help them get additional knowledge for business.
When did you receive this degree?
2014.
It talks about it being a joint degree. Where were you physically located when you obtained this degree?
During the 18 months of study, I was in Paris, Chennai, India, Shanghai, China, New York, and did I say London and Paris?
Okay, and you said over 18 months. About how many weeks would you say that you spent on this program before you obtained the degree?
Weeks of working towards the degree or weeks of travel?
Weeks of working towards the degree.
It was aggressive. I would say probably 20 hours a week.
For how many weeks?
Over the course of the degree?
But it's a 10-week program, isn't it?
No.
Objection.
No, it's not a 10-week program.
Okay, so online when they they describe it as a 10-week program, that's not accurate.
Objection.
I don't believe they describe it as a 10-week program. It may be stated as 10 weeks in person, but it's not a 10-week program.
Understood. So how many weeks is the full program, do you think?
I believe it's 18 months.
A full-time program over 18 months?
Objection.
It's not full-time because it's targeted to executives. So it is literally formatted for individuals who are usually executives within the organization. So it's 18 months, I believe, start to finish.
And to what extent is your executive MBA relevant to your assignment in this case?
It has allowed me to understand, again, my focus was on the data analytics as part of the degree. So it gave me both finance perspective, it's given me depth and strategy in particular, as well as marketing.
When you refer to data analytics, that's not listed as part of this degree on your CV, right?
Data analytics is part of the executive MBA. It's actually part of the NYU module.
Okay, so how was it part of your executive MBA?
It's a class.
How long was the class?
It's for the term, so 14 weeks.
Okay, so a 14-week class in data analytics. Was there anything else part of this executive MBA during which you learned about the data analytics?
Data analytics was integrated within the other parts that weren't actually called data analytics as a class. So we had finance analytics, which looked at a myriad of different data. We also had strategy classes that also incorporated data analysis.
What is data analytics?
Looking at data, and it depends on how big you want to, cleaning, sorting, aggregating data in order to provide an informed decision on what the data tells you.
Okay, none of these 3 degrees you list here reflect that you have a degree in data analytics, right?
Sorry. Objection.
We'll take that as an objection. We'll take that as an objection, Carol. It's okay. I will answer, Carol. None of the degrees are called data analytics.
Are these 3 entries the extent of the degrees that you possess? Okay, can we pause for a second?
Yes.
I don't know what Meryl's tone is. I'm kind of a snidey tone on this, but I really I understand that she has to do this but it's really feels disrespectful. And also, I don't feel like she actually knows anything she's asking about. Exactly. Because she's trying to make her look stupid, but in the end, I think she looks stupid. Because why are you asking some of these really feel like dumb questions, unless there's an okie doke
coming?
Yeah, an okie doke coming where she's trying to, go, oh, haha, I actually know that this is not true or whatever. But there's a lot of condescendingness to it as I'm reading that part. Part of me is getting actually angry, even though I'm playing the role of asking those questions, because
I don't know if I'm doing a good job of snarking back to you when I say things like yes and no.
You guys are doing a great job.
Like, why are you asking me? Especially when she was asking about her degree, because I have a business administration, business management degree, but a concentration in leadership. Mm-hmm. And I have a minor in economics, a concentration in marketing. So you have a law degree? What do you mean you don't understand what concentrations mean? I'm pretty sure you don't just have a JD. You probably have concentration. You have like political science. You probably have a concentration in something. So you know what you're asking her, but you're asking it almost to undermine her by, oh, it was only a 14-week course. Oh, so that was a short class then. Oh, was it a class? Oh, so it's not really a degree then. Like, what are you doing? And keep in mind, you guys, this is a Black woman.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, I told you, Elsrich, that I was going to try to see if some of the way, like the assumptions. Now, mind you, people might say, oh, no, it doesn't matter what race she is. Like, she would have asked her all these questions too. But a part of me is like, okay, I would love to see how they depose Haggerty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would love
you
to
wouldn't
see
ask
how
a white man that.
Haggerty.
Yep.
Because if this is just what they do.
Yeah.
I would love to see how they would have and this idea that, oh, it's her first time, therefore,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
everybody has a first time.
They're
And this idea that, like, how many of us have gone to college and got a different degree than we're actually using our work for? That doesn't make it like, oh, what was this for if you're doing this job now? Like, I don't know. So we'll go back to role playing this, but honestly, in the depths of my soul, I'm just like, you like, this is so disrespectful on so many levels.
I feel it. I feel it. And we talked about this in the background before we started this. So like, we want to see if there's some undertones and stuff. And I'm picking it up. And I was trying not to do my best. I was doing my best not to get emotional, but I was like, these are starting to annoy me now. Because if my degree doesn't have to, like what she said, my lived experiences, the jobs I've had, little jobs I've had through my life brought me here. That's how I can do this job. You're telling me Blake hired this person and she did the job for them. You're asking her these same questions. If she found like something in Blake's favor, you're not asking these questions. So I was like, I was trying to do my best with my snark coming at you like, yes, no, it's a degree. I was like, I'm hoping that's coming through, but definitely she's being disrespected.
You guys are doing a phenomenal job at conveying the feelings behind it.
Yeah.
And Bocce, you're doing awesome at the snide, like the undertone.
And the pauses on the questions. And as soon as I'll be picking it up, I'm like, girl, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, I mean, I definitely felt like there's I mean, maybe because this feels too familiar of like not necessarily like stories that folks have told me of their own lived experience around how people it's amazing how many Black women I know that have all these degrees, incredibly intelligent, and yet people continue to still talk down to them, continue to still act like they're not equal at all. It doesn't matter how many degrees they get.
Yeah.
You're still less than.
You know what's crazy about, sorry to cut you off there, but the Konversky trying to make it seem like these 18-month degrees and whatever are not worth as much as actually, do you realize that 18-month courses and those are like she said, they're aggressive. You have to be incredibly smart and ready to catch up to get those, because it's not like you don't have a year to lollygag your way through a course. If it's a 14-week program, an 18-month program, whatever, you're compounded so much. Like, you have to have the capacity. And she's talking about traveling back and forth. It's not easy to do that. So for her to try to find a way to and she's working, it's not like she was doing this and like drinking beers and playing beer pong. She's a working professor and acting like an adjunct professor at NYU or Columbia or whatever do you know what you got to do to be a janitor at NYU? You know what you got to do to be a librarian at Columbia? So no, like,
I mean, I don't, but I mean, I'm like nodding my head, but I'm like, I actually don't. But no.
To be a professor anywhere, right? To be a professor anywhere, but to be a professor at Columbia, at the Ivies, like, don't play with this woman like this.
Yeah, it was.
Whether she's teaching one course or 10 courses, don't play with her.
Yeah. No, I'm feeling a bunch of
it's crazy.
Feelings.
No, I'm feeling it too, girl. I was like, girl, don't get in your feelings, because you know.
I mean, I'm gonna still play this role, but I'm just like,
for sure, 100%, and I'm in character too. I'm in character, but we're on 23 pages of them pretty much asking her credentials, pretty much.
Which is the story. That's why I'm like, I really want to see all the other like
depots,
experts,
the expert
and
depots,
see if they got grilled to this level about how what makes you an expert. Because usually I don't think you slice and dice to this level.
Yeah.
Anyways,
even to the point
they're
of like
digging
why she's allowed to have the adjunct professor title,
professor job. Like, how can you just leave your resume open like that? Oh, so whenever you want, you can go back to NYU. Yes, that's how it works. I feel like they want to get her to answer like she shit the bed or something at NYU, so she's not or something.
Somebody said it's coming. Sorry, so it sounds like maybe they're. They said trust. What this Lisa Vincent said. Trust me, they're just getting started.
Ooh.
Oh Lord. We're page 23 and they just getting started. They need to wrap it up.
Oh my word. I hope I don't get upset.
Oh my God. Okay, let's go.
I can already
Oof.
feel it in my
Let's get back in. Hannah, you good? We didn't lose you?
Still here.
If you wanted to chime in, you could have, you're not just here for the extra curricular activities.
One
You
thing
could
I
have
will
chimed
say,
in. Yeah.
I mentioned earlier I did mock trial in college, which is nothing. I'm not a lawyer or anything, but one of the first major rules they teach you is to only ask questions you know the answer to. That's more of a pretty big rule for trial, but it probably should be similar in depositions. So it's obvious she doesn't know what she's talking about. So she doesn't know the answer, what she's going to hear.
Yeah, and it's almost like after she answers is almost when she gets the follow-up question. It doesn't seem like Kavinsky. I mean, she probably has a list of questions, but it's almost like after Nicole answers, it's when she figures out what to ask next.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to have a strategy. I mean, they say later, we're going to find out, but let's get there sooner rather than later because I'm starting to lose my shit. All right, people, we're back in character.
That it's going to get worse. I don't know. If I start crying, I can't.
Let me crack my back.
I guarantee that I might not if I start to feel this too much. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Where are we at?
Right here, you can answer. I was about to just say none of the degrees are called data analytics. Okay, none of the degrees are called data analytics.
Are these three entries the extent of the degrees that you possess?
Degrees?
Guys, what page? Oh, okay.
Oh, right here. We're on 23 of 184, line 14.
Got it.
Degrees? Yes.
Are you familiar with the term computational social sciences? Oh my.
Yes.
Computational social sciences also is not mentioned here. Is that right?
Correct. I don't have a degree in that.
What are computational social sciences?
I don't know how I would define that.
Can you try?
I'm not sure.
Can you try?
Objection.
Do you know what computational social science means?
Objection. You can answer.
It's an interdisciplinary field. It looks at analyzing large scale data sets. That's how I would describe it.
An interdisciplinary of what disciplines?
Computer science, data science, and I'm sure there's another science in there. Those are just the two I can think of.
Do you have a degree in computer science?
I don't have a degree in computer science.
Do you have a degree in data science?
I don't have a degree in data science.
What about mathematics? Do you have a degree in mathematics?
I don't have a degree in mathematics.
What about statistics?
I do not.
What about economics?
No.
Do you have a degree in digital marketing?
The degree is not listed at digital marketing. No.
Your CV talks about you being at Meta. You were at Meta for 2 years?
2 years, 6 months.
It talks about global head of marketing, business and product marketing. That's of all of Meta?
That's of the business and product marketing division. So I was on the side of what most people would refer to as B2B.
Can you explain what B2B means other than the literal definition? What is that?
Business to business. So Meta has goods and services that they promote to consumers such as you, Kevin, etc. So people that use Facebook, WhatsApp, a myriad of different solutions, that's what we call B2B side. B2B is about working with advertisers, small to medium business, things of that nature.
And what did you do from a day-to-day perspective as a global head of marketing, business, and product marketing?
I ran a couple of different teams that included data analytics, engineering the owned services team. So that is all the things like email, social media, website. And my goal was to, number one, maintain our site on the business side, ensure the clients or potential customers were able to find what they needed. I also had revenue stream goals. So making sure that we were converting potential customers into active customers, and then a myriad of promotional activities. Yeah, that's the gist.
Objection.
Why did you leave in 2023?
There were changes in the organization, so I decided it was a good time for me to depart.
So it was a voluntary departure.
Yeah, I wasn't fired. That was an ad lib, guys. She deserved that one. What do
Who
you
did you
mean it was a voluntary depart? Like, yes, correct. I'm sorry, guys. I had to do that.
Who did you report to while you were there?
I reported to the SV. I'm sorry. I reported to the VP. Her role then was VP of, I'm going to say skilled solutions, but I'm not sure if that's the overcharging name.
You've referenced
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, overarching name.
you've referenced having direct reports. How many direct reports did you have?
Direct reports, I had 15 of the highest.
And you mentioned data analytics, but this description doesn't mention data analytics. Why doesn't it include that?
I didn't put it in there, but most of my job was around data and analysis, data analytics.
Why have you mentioned that describing this role when it wasn't in your CV?
Objection.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, I'm just saying you volunteer data analytics as part of this position, but it's not mentioned in your CV. And I'm just wondering why you mentioned it when it's not listed in your CV.
I volunteered it as one of the teams that I oversaw.
How did you oversee that team?
Objection.
It was one of the teams that sat under my purview. So it's actually one of the teams I developed while I was there.
Tell me about that.
Objection.
So in order to lead our own properties, we specifically had to have insight on how data was captured, how data was cleaned, how we were aggregating data, how we were using data, and then ensuring that it was not only responsible, but it was in line with Meta's overall policy. So I had a team of data analysts that did all that work.
How much of that work did you perform yourself?
On an ongoing basis for what they did to what I perform marginally. On what I perform marginal.
Okay. There is a data analytics team separate from one under the marketing department at Meta, isn't there?
There's a lot of data analytics teams at Meta.
Got it. So when you talk about running a data analytics team, that's a specific team that you created in the marketing department.
Yes.
And what type of specific data was that data analytics team that you supervised performing?
They would run, we would look at things like social graph, clickstream data. We would look at potential threats across our network.
What does potential threats mean?
It could mean anything from bots to DDS, someone trying to access our network, to it was predominantly around things like bots, click flow, traffic reporting to see if we were on target to hit revenue goals, usage behavior, things of that nature.
Describe your experience with bots while you were at Meta.
Part of the work that we did was to look at bot activity specifically across when it came to clients. So specifically if there were accounts that looked like that bots were used in order to spike traffic, whereas clients had to then pay for said traffic, we would do forensic work around if that traffic was realized, if it was associated with users, or if it was non-organic.
Okay, you used the term non-organic. What does non-organic mean?
Non-organic means it does not have qualifiers. That would mean that users actually were the ones that generated the traffic.
So when you use the term non-organic, you're referring to automated conduct like the use of bots.
It could be bots or it could be other things as well.
What other things?
It could be users of coordinated actual users attempting to spike traffic or to, in a negative or positive way, manipulate the traffic somehow.
So users coordinating to spike traffic would be non-organic.
That would be non-organic. We wouldn't classify it as that. Internally, we would classify it as we would use words like maleficent. Maleficent. But that makes maleficent.
Maleficent.
Maleficent doesn't make sense to be shent. There's no I before the E. Maleficent. That's so weird. Maybe the stenographer wrote that, but that makes no sense in a real world. So it would be something that would be a coordinated manipulation, pretty much.
So you didn't use the term organic while at Meta.
We used organic, but not in the sense that we're discussing here.
So how are we discussing organic in the sense here?
So I believe that when you brought up how we used it, it was in regards to data analytics for around bot traffic. We used organic more from when the origin of the traffic came from. So, for instance, organic versus paid in an advertising perspective.
I see. So you use the term non-organic to describe the use of bots. So how are you using that term?
Objection.
Sorry, so non-organic. I'm using it as it is a coordinated sort of manipulation in some way, shape, or form, whether through technology or through humans.
But that is not how you would use the term when you were at Meta.
Every company has their own verbiage. I would use Meta's verbiage internally.
Okay, let's look at Meta's verbiage. I'm going to put into the exhibit, share what I will mark as Exhibit 3. Autumn, are you there? Are you here? Exhibit 3 marked for identification.
I'm back. I can handle it.
Okay, you know the one I'm asking for?
Yes. Yes, got it.
As my colleague is putting up Meta's policy, are you familiar with a term called inauthentic behavior?
Yes.
What does inauthentic behavior mean?
It is activity that is not based on the usual way that users interact with content across Meta's platforms.
What are the usual ways that users interact with content on Meta?
The usual ways would be taking a baseline based on data that we have internally.
What does that mean?
Objection. You can answer.
So within Meta, we have baselines that we can see how users have historically interacted with our content based on that we would form a baseline. So things outside of that baseline would be things that we would check to see why the traffic or whatever the activity was skewed.
Okay, so when you used the term earlier, non-organic, how, if at all, does that relate to inauthentic behavior?
From the way that we use that at Meta, it would be a synonym. It could be a synonym.
What about the way that you use the term organic in your report? To what extent does the way that you use the term organic in your report coincide with inauthentic behavior?
I didn't associate the use of inorganic in my report with anything, any verbiage related to Meta, for instance.
What did you associate the use of organic in your report to?
In my report, I specifically look at organic behavior being things within the norm that didn't have classifiers of inorganic manipulation.
What are classifiers of inorganic manipulation?
It could be anything like temporal oddities. It could be user activity that would be outside of the norm of the normal time frame. It would be things like amplification ratios, looking at those kinds of fingerprints.
Let's go down in Exhibit 3 to the first paragraph on the next page. Let me share. Autumn, can you share your screen on this so we're all looking at the same thing?
I think you have to stop sharing and then I can switch.
Nicole, I would just download the document so you can look at it as you see fit.
Well, I won't share it if that's not helpful. I was doing it more as a helpful.
It's easier for me to look at it on my screen.
Okay, so if you look at the second page, it says,
just take take a moment to look at the entire document and then let Meryl know when you're ready.
I'm not going to ask about the entire document, though.
I understand.
Okay.
Okay, if you look at the first paragraph and it says, as read, in line with our commitment to authenticity, we don't allow people to misrepresent themselves on our service, use fake accounts, artificially boost the popularity of content, or engage in behaviors designed to enable other violations under our community standards. Do you see that?
Yes.
Did you engage in any of these type of behaviors while you were at Meta?
Objection.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
When you were
no, my objection.
When you were doing marketing at Meta, did you engage in any of these types of behaviors?
Let me just read this again. So I want to clarify first. So you have me looking at a document from Meta that is about user standards. So this is community-based standards on what consumers or users that sign up on Meta's platforms agree to. So to answer your question, a user at Meta, someone with a Facebook account, someone with an Instagram account, I did not do any of those activities while at Meta as a user.
And why not?
Objection.
I don't know how to answer that.
What is your understanding of artificially boost? What does that mean?
So in the context for Meta, as part of their user agreement, it would mean using things like different programs or bots or coordinated activities to increase traffic in some way, shape, or form. Oh, Jesus.
No, you were going the right direction. You were.
Oh, you said and you tripped me up.
Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to. I thought you were.
I was like, I thought I was
down.
going the right way. No, I just wanted to go down and shift up.
Oh, gotcha. And coordinated activities could be manual, right? Not automated?
They can be, yes. It would have to be very, very synchronized for it to work at scale. But yes, it is possible.
When you say to work at scale, what do you mean?
To make a difference. So you as an individual clicking on things across the site, it's not going to make an impact when it comes to traffic.
But it's possible that you could synchronate in order to artificially boost without using automated tools, right?
Objection. You can answer.
So as I stated before, it's possible, but it's extremely difficult to do so.
Right. So you would have to be an expert in order to do that.
Objection.
I wouldn't say that. I'm not sure what that means particularly, but you would need to have a vast network of humans in order to pull that off.
Okay, and under the way that you use the term organic in your report, would that type of artificial boosting that uses a manual network be considered organic or not organic?
That would be considered inorganic, the way that I'm using it.
Okay, and if we look at the next sentence, it says, as read, inauthentic behavior refers to a variety of complex forms of deception performed by a network of inauthentic assets controlled by the same individual or individuals with the goal of deceiving Meta or a community. Do you see that?
Sorry, what page are you on for that one?
The same paragraph.
Oh.
Just the next sentence.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And do you agree with that sentence?
I don't disagree with it. It's Meta's terms. I'm not sure.
But do you agree that inauthentic behavior includes complex forms of deceptions performed by a network of inauthentic assets controlled by the same individual or individuals?
Objection. You can answer again.
I would say yes, that's accurate.
What does that mean to you when it says a network of inauthentic assets controlled by the same individual or individuals?
The way that I would, okay, do you want me to put my Meta hat on, or do you want me to speak from the perspective of an expert outside of Meta? Because there's two different answers.
Give me both.
So within Meta, that means if you own a link farm, if you are coordinating with bots, particularly around to deceive around advertising or politics, those are usually the two forms. Outside of Meta, I would say it's more about, am I orchestrating something that I have access to a myriad of different, most likely computers and algorithmic programs? Because again, as I mentioned, human beings, it's extremely difficult to coordinate that. And am I trying to do it in order to impact something in either a negative or positive way?
And when it says a network of inauthentic assets, what is your understanding of inauthentic assets?
So the way the Meta is looking at this?
I'm asking how you are looking at it. Sorry.
Sorry, objection.
I wanted to clarify my question.
Do you want to withdraw it? Are you withdrawing the first one, or are you going to ask another one?
I specifically asked, how do you define the term inauthentic assets?
Okay, go ahead, Nicole.
Outside of this context, I would say inauthentic assets would mean any asset that is attempting to either negatively or positively impact something, defraud or cause harm, or specific benefit.
And that could be automated or it could be manual, right?
As I said before, it's normally automated, and in rare cases with a lot of coordinated at scale, it could also be manual.
What is your basis for saying that it's ordinarily automated?
So again, in the context of social media, for it to be impactful, make a dent at scale, it is extremely difficult to do it in a coordinated way with a network of humans.
How could you do it?
Objection.
I mean, there's probably several different ways. The one I could think of would be to rally a massive of, again, individuals, human beings, in a coordinated attempt that would either cause benefit or cause harm. But there would have to be, it would have to be signatures. I'm trying to think of how it would have to have signatures of authenticity, though, for it not to be identifiable.
What does that mean, signatures of authenticity?
I'm sorry, I should flip that. I should have said signatures of inauthenticity. Apologies.
Can you explain what you mean by signatures of inauthenticity?
Signatures of inauthenticity.
Uh-huh.
So, as I mentioned before, things like, like temporal analysis, content, homogeneous content, it would be things like coordinated clusters. But again, that would all be based on actually doing the analysis to figure out if that was there.
So if someone was really good at doing this, couldn't it avoid those signs of inauthenticity?
Objection. You can answer.
Sorry, I'm not going to say always, but there is usually identifiers, which is why you don't just look at one element of inauthenticity. You look at several. You look at several different ones. So for instance, posting times, that would just be one. So if someone got around posting times, there is still 6 or 7 other fingerprinting techniques that you can use. So you don't just check for one factor, you check a myriad of different factors.
But if someone understood what all those factors are, couldn't they devise a campaign at scale to avoid those signs of inauthenticity?
Objection.
I have not seen that to actually be possible, where that it's not identifiable in any of the different ways that you would analyze it.
Isn't it possible that you wouldn't be able to identify it because it was untraceable?
Objection.
So untraceable sounds good from a marketing perspective. Untraceable is still traceable. So there are usually signatures that fall outside of what the norm would look like or outside of the baseline. And that would then get you to dig deeper into understanding why that happened, if it was authentically an anomaly or if it was a coordinated act.
So you say usually, but that doesn't mean that there is always signatures, right?
Objection. You can answer again.
In all of the ways that I have seen been privy to, there have been ways to determining inauthentic behavior.
How have you seen that? Can you explain?
Sure. So I've seen it based on, again, going back to like content, homogeneous content. So things where you have, this is just one example, things where you have identical verbiage, like literally identical, or even things around social media as consistent as the flow of hashtags. So how hashtags actually show up. And I'm seeing that from original piece of content dropping, not a retweet, not a repost.
But I'm trying to ask like specific case studies that you have performed or been involved in where you have seen inauthentic behavior.
Oh.
Objection. Go ahead.
So that actually is one. That is one we saw specifically in my work at Meta. So that's one example. We've also seen actual use case at Meta. We've seen issues where there were like temporal, where coordinations across different regions. So they were outside of like normal posting times based on the baseline of when users authentically post, for repost in this case. I've also seen specifically in previous works with IP Ipsos through Synthesio, which is a social media tool that we had. We've seen things like coordinated signatures around like age, activity. So where accounts were like newly created and they were the ones that were posting problematic content.
But I'm trying to understand a specific incident. Like, not just talking generally, but what was the specific content that you saw to be inauthentic? You gave 2 examples of Meta. What were the specific content that you determined that was inauthentic?
Objection. You can answer again.
So at Meta, in one specific case, it was seeing duplicative identical content showing up as a higher propensity than normal.
What was the specific content?
So I cannot tell you the specific content for anything I did with Meta. Are you asking?
You can designate it as confidential, but I am entitled. I'm going to leave it there. I am entitled. No, just kidding. But I am entitled to understand the basis of your knowledge. What was the specific type of content that in that case you determined was inauthentic?
Sorry, Bocce, can you ask that part again?
15, 16.
No, I know. Can you just ask it?
What was the specific type of content that in that case you determined was inauthentic?
Well, if there is some contract that she's bound by or regulations that said this is proprietary information, then I'm not sure the protective order would cover that.
I can tell you that it was political.
And what was your role in sussing out that content?
So my role was to look at the vast amount of data over a certain period of time in order to look at anomalies that this content was inflated, or the activity around the content was inflated.
How was it inflated?
Trying to think of how I can share. There were actors that were pushing this content across Meta platforms, and we saw bot behavior in that circumstance or in that particular use case.
And so that case included bot behavior. Did the other specific Meta case that you were referring to include bot behavior?
The other one did. It was different bot behavior. So I mean, because bot is a very general term, just to be specific, right? Programmatic advertising is bots. So this was manipulative bot behavior. In the political case, that was foreign actors. The second case was bot activity specific to inflating advertising numbers in order to harm a business.
And have you ever identified in any of your positions any campaigns that did not include bot behavior?
Yes.
Tell me about those.
Objection.
We've had, so some were with Ipsos. We were looking through Synthesio, which was our social media solution for when a CPG company felt that sales and the subsequent return of goods was around bot activity. We saw that was not the case. We were able to identify that it had signatures of authentic activity where people were just purchasing, were unhappy, and were returning goods.
And how did you rule out that it was this type of manual network that did not rely on bots?
So we looked at in that case, we looked at tracking. So we looked at where the purchases were taking place, where the order was taking place, and where the purchases were sent to. And we looked at to see if there were any signifiers that skewed outside of what their normal base of customers look like. So we were able to see that their authentic customers, which they agreed with were authentic customers, had the same signatures as what they thought were inauthentic customers.
And if someone wanted to appear to be an authentic customer, that would be possible, wouldn't it?
Objection.
In this case, it would not have been.
What about in any case?
Objection.
That's a lot of different assumptions I would have to make. I couldn't answer that.
Well, what would it take for someone to make a coordinated campaign look authentic?
Objection.
I don't know all the factors to be able to answer that.
We've been going for about 2 hours. Why don't we take a break now?
When I'm done with this line of questioning.
Well, no, actually, we're going to...
When I'm done with this question, I was in the middle of a question.
You weren't in the middle of a question.
I was.
You weren't.
The court reporter, can you read?
We've been going for 2 hours, and now you're trying to pose a question.
I will take a break after this. So the court reporter, can you read back the question?
Crosstalk.
We're going to...
Kevin, there's a question pending.
There wasn't.
Crosstalk.
Let's ask the court reporter.
frankly, with all due respect to the court reporter, I don't care what this court reporter said. I suggest that we take a break and then you start to ask another question.
That's not true.
Yeah, I suggest. Yeah, sorry. Okay. I've never seen anyone do that before.
Ash, there's a question pending. If she says no,
Nicole, we're going to come back at 11:25. You can put yourself.
Kevin, if the court reporter says there is a question pending, we should believe her. If not, then I'll step. Ash, please speak. Please respect Ash.
I know the sequence.
Ash, what was the sequence?
With all due respect to the court reporter, it doesn't matter.
Ash.
You asked the question, which you didn't finish after I asked for a break. It's inappropriate. We're going to take a break now. We'll come back at 1:25.
Kevin, I'm allowed to ask.
Nicole.
Stop talking, Kevin. Ash, please, was a question pending?
I would have to check.
Please check.
Here it is. The record read.
Okay, let's go on a break. 10 minutes. She answered that question, right, Ash?
I don't know. I have to look at the...
What happened after that? So the record should reflect there was no question pending.
Well, I asked a question, but the record was not.
See you in 10 minutes.
We are off the record. It is 1:16 p.m. Recess. We are back on the record. It is 1:26 p.m.
Should we take a recess?
That one was funny.
No, Kevin really said, see you in 10 minutes. Like, I don't care. He said, with all due respect, I don't care what Ash has to say. I said we're taking a break, damn it. I love the fact that when Ash...
questioning.
Yo, I love the fact that when they got the record straight and Kevin realized he's right, he didn't even go back and forth with her. See you in 10 minutes.
It was kind of funny though, because he said, I don't care what the court reporter says. But when the court reporter I go, okay, bye.
It's like, bye. No, but I mean, he was so right. He knew he was so right. He wasn't about to go back and forth. It was like, I already know you were not in the middle of a question. A question was not pending. Ash?
We do love Kevin Fritz, don't we?
I love that. Kevin, stop talking. Ash? Kevin, stop talking. Ash? Oh my God. Bocce, I know you hate when we miss the chat. Let's see if there's something you guys want to talk about in the chat real quick, because we've neglected them for a good hour and a half. Somebody says, I swear BL's attorneys are living in a world where newspapers were delivered to the people by a boy on a bicycle. Oh my God. Oh boy. Haha, they're gonna think I'm a bot if they go off irregular timing. I'm over here on my coffee at 11 a.m., 8:15 p.m. putting my kids to bed, then 4 a.m. with insomnia. No, they would legit think I'm a bot. I post at the wildest times. Like, I'm up doing this. When I'm done doing this, I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna post at 4 a.m. I'm gonna be up tomorrow morning. I'll be at the grocery store. I will post on TikTok at 10 a.m. They're like, does this bitch sleep? I don't. No, that is funny. Do you guys have any chats on your side you see you want me to put up?
No,
I
you
love
have
this.
you see everybody's.
I see everybody's, yeah. Late, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. This is where they asked her if she can divulge whatever happened at Meta, and she says, I can't tell you that. I think this is where you wrote this. No, ma'am, you don't get to know the content. That's why they were asking her about that. This expert witness is one smart lady. I give her that, yeah.
Even though they're trying very hard to make her seem like she's stupid.
For sure. They're doing that. Kenny says, this bitch probably doesn't even understand what she's saying.
I think that she didn't understand when she was saying that it was an inauthentic.
Inauthentic, yeah.
Like conversion or something like that. She was talking about it and she's like, I can't, or inorganic. And she's like, I can't use what are not meta terms to talk about meta stuff.
To talk about meta stuff,
you know, like in the context of I'm an expert, this is inauthentic, but I can't apply that word to the things that are happening
in meta.
Because there's certain terms that still convey the same thing, but we can't do that here, you know?
Yeah. And Meta's verbiage, she tried to tell her Meta's verbiage is not the same verbiage at every company. Like not everybody is out here using the exact same thing. This is that whole stint.
Yeah, that was funny.
And I think it does reflect what Fritz told the court, which is like, you'll go back and see that, you know, I did things right. I didn't say something out of turn. Like the stenography will report that I was in the right.
Yeah. No, this was funny. This was a good, because after like badgering that woman, like asking the same question 16 times, this was a good, funny Kiki break. Guys,
Yes.
we're page 112 and we're just not getting to legitimately laugh because the whole thing has been like annoying.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ash.
Ash, stop talking, Kevin. Ash. What does the record say? Ash. And Ash was just sitting there like, minding my business. Because
it felt personal.
It did. Because in a regular world, wouldn't the stenographer just be like, hey guys, stop arguing? There was no question. She didn't say shit. She was
She's just
like,
sitting there typing everything they're saying too. Like, so
oh, now you want my opinion? Okay, fine. There was no question. You could have saved us 3 minutes. Oh my God.
Ash is trying to catch all the crosstalk.
I love it. And I kept going, crosstalk. And I kept waiting for you and Bocce to talk over each other, but you kept waiting for Bocce to finish talking. I'm like, you guys,
I know.
stop being so polite.
Yeah, I wanted to do the
I need you to
over
go at each other. It's crosstalk. Next time we get a crosstalk, I need you to do your job. Talk over each other.
All right.
Oh my God. All right, guys. We're going back to work. That was a good, were we on a 10-minute break there? Kevin, I love how Kevin, funny enough, in the beginning, he legit told Nicole, turn your camera off. You're on break. Like, just shut your shit off. You're on break. Oh my days. All right.
Oh, I missed that. Did he tell her that?
Yeah. In the beginning, when they were arguing, he told her, I think right around here, he said something about Nicole, you can like turn your camera, like pretty much Nicole, go on break. Like,
yeah. Okay. You can.
I don't have time for this lady to figure out what she's doing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, videographer.
Miss Alexander, we moved into exhibit.
Oh, we're back here. Okay.
Miss Alexander, we moved into exhibit share. Actually, I should ask Miss Alexander, did you have any substantive conversations with your counsel during the break?
No.
We've moved into exhibit share, what we will be marked as exhibit 4. Can you look at that? Exhibit 4 marked for identification. Can you look at that?
Yes, I have it.
What is it?
My book cover?
Okay, I'm going to admit as exhibit 4 your book. We're going to send to Veritex a copy of your actual physical book. And then, for purposes of the exhibit of the discussion today, I have an excerpt from your book, which I will mark as exhibit 4A, which should also be in your exhibit share. Exhibit 4A marked for identification. If you can pull that up.
Just a second, I'm downloading it.
Sure.
4A, got it.
Are you going to send me a copy of the book too, Meryl?
Sure.
Thanks.
Miss Alexander, do you see the excerpt?
I need a minute. Kevin, you don't come back from talking crazy and be like, hey, Meryl, are you going to send me a copy? Are you two not just fighting?
That's why you don't
really
take
funny.
it personal.
Are you going to send me a copy too, Meryl? Sure. Are you two not just about to bite your heads off?
We're on a first name basis.
I love how you called her. Kevin seems like such a sweetheart. He's like, I'm off warrior mode now. I'm back to be. See, you guys understand. Kevin would understand what happened yesterday. Kevin would understand me. That was funny. Are you gonna send me a copy, Meryl? Sure. So nice. So nice. All right, 19. 18. Carol.
I thanks.
Miss Alexander, do you see the excerpt that is marked as Exhibit 4A is page 15 of your book?
Yes.
Okay, and you write, as read, AI-driven content curation on social media platforms influences not just purchasing decisions, but also opinions and beliefs. Algorithms prioritize content that is likely to engage users, often amplifying sensational or polarizing material. When you use the term sensational or polarizing material, what did you mean?
I can't think in my mindset at the particular time, but I think I was probably referencing things like specifically, coordinated attempts around politics, around, I'm not sure, just major events where we've seen harm come to companies, governments, individuals based on coordinated attacks.
Okay, and what it says as read, this can skew perceptions and contribute to the spread of misinformation as seen in various instances where fake news has gone viral. Do you see that?
Yes.
What did you mean by the term misinformation?
So misinformation specifically, I was talking about where information is presented as either slightly skewed versus what the original information actually is, or completely false.
Uh-huh. And how has
I'm sorry to cut you off. I should have added for deceptive purposes was the last.
Okay, and how is the spread of misinformation related to fake news going viral?
So a couple of different ways. So this information is usually meant to feed on emotions, and when you have emotions either to the left or to the right, extremely happy or extremely negative, those are the times when human beings usually promote content more so from a human perspective. From an algorithmic perspective, we've seen studies that have shown that misinformation also has been able to radicalize individuals, and algorithms show more and more intense information depending on how users engage with that content.
So the engagement that you've just described, that would be organic engagement, right?
Misinformation is organic, yes. Escalation of it is to get sensationalism is usually coordinated.
I see. So something can be both inorganic and organic.
Objection.
So I would tease those two out. Something can start off as organic and it can be manipulated into being inorganic.
What about vice versa? Can start off inorganic and be manipulated to seem organic.
That's more difficult to do. It's not impossible, but it's extremely difficult to do.
How would you do it?
Objection.
I mean, that I'm not quite sure of the way you would go about escalating it. I'm sure there's a myriad of different ways.
But as you sit here today, you don't know any ways that would be used to do that other than that it's possible.
To go from something that is inorganic to make it, I'm sorry,
appear organic.
No, because you would need, no, I can't think of anything. I can't think of how you would go about that.
Let's just do it in your hypothetical. You said that if something is sensational or polarizing, it can motivate people to put on their own post, right?
Correct.
What if the sensational or polarizing material is something that is planted and not truthful? Couldn't that have the exact same effect you just described?
For it to be sensationalized, yes.
For then users to pick it up and organically spread it.
Yes, that is possible.
Let's go back to the excerpt on page 22. It says, as read, reputational harm can be even more devastating than legal penalties. In today's digital landscape, news, especially bad news, travels fast. A single incident can tarnish a brand's impact overnight, and rebuilding trust can take years. Do you see that?
I do.
Do you stand behind that sentence?
Sorry, you said page 22, Meryl? I thought you were looking at page 15.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go to page 22.
Is this a new exhibit?
Well, I did say 22. Amber, is this the same exhibit? Autumn, sorry. Oh, let's go to 4B. Why does everybody's name start with an A? Amber, Autumn, Ash. Okay. Exhibit 4B marked for identification.
Meryl, we're going to 4B. We need to announce it. Thank you.
Yep, 4B, while my colleague is getting it pulled out. Do you recall writing that reputational harm can be even more devastating than legal penalties, and that a single incident can tarnish a brand's impact overnight, and rebuilding trust can take years?
Yeah, I know that statement. I remember writing that.
Do you agree with that statement?
Yes.
Okay, and you continued as read, recovering from reputational damage requires substantial investment in public relations, marketing, and operational changes. Do you recall writing that as well?
I do.
Do you agree with that statement?
I do.
By the way, you talk about brands, and when you talk about brands in your books, is that corporate brands?
That's any brands. It can be small, medium business. It can be enterprise. Obviously, in regards to the statement that you just mentioned, obviously the amount of investment is vastly different for an enterprise brand versus a small or medium business brand.
Right, but the principle is the same.
There's always, yes, there's elements of recovery, but brands are also, and I think it's subsequent statement on either the previous or the following page. I also talk about how brands are also have to mitigate their own risk as well.
Okay, so other than the book, your CV doesn't list any other publications that you've authored. Have you authored any other publications?
Do you mean like academic papers? I'm assuming you mean.
Anything?
Objection.
I've authored other papers.
What papers?
I've authored papers at all of my companies. So at Meta,
Okay.
Objection.
Ipsos, Nielsen.
Go
Go
ahead
ahead.
and finish your answer, Miss Alexander.
That was it.
Have any of your other publications that you've authored been published?
No,
So the book is the only piece of literature that you published.
correct.
What sort of journals exist in your discipline?
Sorry, in marketing.
How would you define your discipline?
Objection.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure how to answer that.
How would you define your expertise?
We've just got done talking about Meta. If you're asking in my discipline at Meta, I was in marketing, full staff marketing. So that's everything from data analysis to engineering to, PR, branding, etc.
Well, what is your understanding of why you're being offered as an expert in this case?
We're still on this.
Mm-hmm.
So as an expert in this case, is from my expertise in data analysis, marketing, and specifically social networks.
So in data analysis, marketing, or what was the last thing you said? Social
Networks.
networks. In your experience in either of those, are there journals that exist in any of those three disciplines?
There are several. You want me to just name them?
That would be great.
Journal of Marketing, God, they all have long names. Nature, Human Behavior, and something don't actually subscribe to the journal. So
Any?
I don't have to. We get them free as faculty.
Which ones do you receive as a member of the faculty?
I read, because receiving and reading are different. I read American Marketing. I love that. I read American Marketing Association in their journal. I read ANA's journal. I'm sorry, stands for American National Advertisers. I think the acronym is.
Okay.
Those are the ones I usually read.
So American Marketing Association and the American National Association's journal, is that right?
Of advertisers.
American National Association of Advertisers.
Yes.
Any other journals that you read on a regular basis?
Journals themselves? No, I usually read individual articles when they interest me.
How do you decide what articles to read?
Depending on the topic, it could be something that is shared with me, something that is in my queue based on different tags or hashtags.
But it's just like an ad hoc basis what you decide to read?
Objection.
Yes.
Have you ever edited any of the journals that you just discussed?
I'm not an editor of any journal, no.
But none of the work that you've done has been published in any of the specific journals that you've just discussed.
No, that's usually for more full-blown academics.
Can you explain that distinction?
As a practitioner, I don't have the obligation of having to publish, whereas academics usually do.
You mentioned that you wrote a number of papers for Meta in the course of your career. Have any of the papers you've written been peer reviewed?
None that, well, actually, no, that's not true. Yes, a paper that I wrote in conjunction with another author at Ipsos was peer reviewed and was presented at an academic, jointly at an academic forum. And that was peer reviewed. I think that's it. A peer review process, like in academia, is a little bit different than peer reviewed for a practitioner.
When you were referring to a peer reviewed in this context, was it for a practitioner or was it academic?
That was academia.
Okay, and what was the topic of that paper?
We looked at marketing effectiveness and behavior across a global data set. And
why did you not list that paper in your CV?
Because it wasn't published.
Do you have a copy of it?
Honestly, I don't know. I may have a copy of it somewhere.
What was the methodology that was tested in that paper?
So we looked at marketing effectiveness. We looked at regression analysis of a myriad of different companies across different disciplines in order to talk about things like concepts, how concepts actually work. Well, if they went live, if they didn't go live, we appended sales data to that for the ones that did go live, obviously, and just looking at the overall trend of how to bring a product concept to fruition.
Did you rely on that analysis for purposes of this report?
No.
Let's go. If you can pull up your report, please. Let's do the latest one, Exhibit 002. Let's go to Appendix C. What is your understanding of what Appendix C is?
Those are materials I considered when drafting my report.
Did you draft Appendix C?
Yes.
Did you consider any materials that are not listed in Appendix C?
For the end report, no.
What does that mean for the end report?
For a report that you're looking at. For the report that you're looking at, no.
But did you consider any other materials for in the course of preparing your report?
In the course of preparing it, no.
So Appendix C lists everything you considered in the course of preparing your report.
Objection. You can answer again.
Just doing a read through, yes.
Okay, Autumn, go ahead and let's share this on the screen so at least I can look at it on the screen, please. What quality control steps did you ensure that Appendix C contained all of your sources?
I use Zotero, which is a software for citation and referencing, clipping and storing.
Okay, is Tero, does it include an AI feature?
It's Zotero, and I don't believe it does. It's Zotero.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And where you include citations in your report, strike that. You include certain footnotes with citations in your report, but a lot of paragraphs have no citation. How are we supposed to know the basis for the paragraphs where you don't include a citation?
Objection. You can answer.
If I'm not using a citation, then it comes from personal knowledge.
Okay, I'm sorry. Duh! I'm sorry, what?
The fact that I just had to answer that, I'm sick.
I literally, when she asked that, I was like, is she dumb? Why are you asking that?
She's trying to pretty much say she plagiarized half of her report.
She's stupid.
You're not allowed to have original thoughts.
Like
The minute I hated having to say that question because it's the stupidest question I have ever heard. Why don't you? Because it's literally my ideas. Is my own thoughts.
Somebody said, "Did you wash your hands? Have to go to the restroom before coming." I wanted to throw up in my mouth because, and then can you imagine if her paper was filled with citations? The question would have been, "Do you actually have an original thought, or are you just citing your colleagues' works?" But when she has an original thought, you're looking for APA, MLA citations. Come on. We are on page 127 of you asking this woman if she's qualified. You guys understand this is 350-page deposition. We're on 127 of trying to understand if this woman is qualified.
Honestly, that's the stupidest question I've had to say in this role.
Parts that are not cited. Why?
So dumb.
I'm surprised she didn't.
I'm
surprised she didn't say like, "Oh, it's in the wrong format. Why didn't you write MLA format or APA?" Or...
That's funny.
Hannah, do you think that she was asking her a question she knew the answer to? Because
no, never.
Oh gosh, because that was the stupidest.
Because okay, let's play this out. Where is it again? You
include certain footnotes with citations in your report, but a lot of paragraphs have no citations. How are we supposed to know the basis for the paragraphs where you don't include a citation?
I was just hoping nobody would notice. I didn't remember where I copied it from, so I was just hoping this case wouldn't need to go further than me being hired as an expert. I mean, I was really hoping this case would just die, and then I could just cash my $110,000, and nobody would ever ask me any follow-up questions. Because if you did, I'm shit out of luck.
They need to pay this woman more for having to endure this.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why Kevin was pushing for the break. Like, she needs a break. What? You're badgering her at this point, Meryl.
I mean, I will say props to her if she held her composure this whole time, because the amount of disrespect and in all of this, because it's way too many questions. I can understand vetting the vetting, but this is way too much of like, it's really just not believing that she is worthy.
For reference, guys, we're on page 127. We started on page 14, just so you understand. Because I feel like if you look at 34 of 184, it makes you think we are only 30 pages in. No, we are 127 pages into this deposition. This woman is still being asked if she's qualified to be in the same room she's qualified to be in a room, period. And mind you, she's Black. Okay.
What time do they start this deposition? Because the last like timestamp was like a little bit after 1 p.m.
1
So it's
p.m.
been several hours of her talking about this. Just her.
Yeah.
It's
they would have probably started at 8 or 9. We took the break at what, 11? Did they take the break at 11 p.m.?
I don't know. But so KP says here, lawyer here, a witness needs to qualify as an expert witness. If someone has testified as an expert 20 times, it is hard to challenge whether they are an expert. So the point potentially being, I don't want to put words into KP's mouth, but I wonder if the whole sentiment being like, because she's never done this before. Oh, so she has to be picked apart this way.
Yeah,
I mean, I can understand.
Yeah,
to some degree.
Yeah,
but some of this questioning to me is starting to be like out of line to me after a while. Yeah, you can only ask some certain things so much before you're like, you're trying to just cut this person down.
Exactly. Especially after because I feel like, but again, we're 127 pages in. I could dead ass pretend to be this woman now. I feel like I could walk around. I could be an expert now. I could get hired for this job and I could regurgitate some of this stuff and say, hey, I'm Nicole Alexander. And somebody would believe me because I feel like I know so much that I never needed to know. But I get what KP is saying as well. When it's somebody's first time, the attorney may file a motion to preclude the witness testifying as an expert. Well, you're going to need to pony up $110,000.
And then Lively will never beat the allegations.
No, seriously.
We'll never beat the allegations.
Never. She was like, oh, they got a little Black lady to be an expert? Yeah. Let's get the drill.
I mean, and here's the thing. They recognized that this is a big case.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The Wayfarer understands this is a big case. Right?
Yep.
So to me, there is respect for what she brings.
There's a reason they hired her because there's a
reason they hired her.
They could have hired some big shot.
You know, they already have a Haggerty, right?
Yeah.
So, so to me, it's like there's a reason they hired her.
Can I just say, you just said that and it just clicked for me. If anybody watched the Karen Reed trial, the experts that the Commonwealth had, I mean, ridiculous. But I'm just realizing now that the way Nicole is explaining things, there's nothing she said that doesn't make sense to me as a layperson. Like, are you guys in the chat? Let me know, or Bocce or Carol or Hannah. Are you guys hearing anything that's like, oh my God, that is so crazy. I have no idea what that means. I need like a dictionary.
It's pretty clear.
It's pretty clear, no? So I'm thinking if Haggerty is like data, timeline, proof, receipts, and Haggerty is pretty difficult to understand, but Haggerty has the facts. Nicole is somebody they can put on a stand for sure. Again, as a Black woman, a woman, relatable, and she can explain this in ways that make absolute perfect sense to the lay person. That if the jury is sitting up there and they get to expert testimony, she's not going to bore them to death. She's going to be able to explain things to them in plain English to where they can understand. I could also see why they would hire her for that. You know what I'm saying? Because Haggerty might get up on that stand and what are you talking about? Lose the entire plot. But if Nicole is the witness on the stand and she can handle her own, especially with Meryl, hopefully she can handle Ezra, whoever. I think this is a strategic move from Wayfarer to put somebody who can at least explain things as a lay person. Like probably look at the jury and be like, think of this like your phone. You would need like 100 human beings in a warehouse, 1,000 human beings trying to do this versus Haggerty trying to break it down in data form. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she can help break this down for the jury is what they're also thinking about.
I like that thought.
Yeah, I
Because
think I like
again,
that.
I think one of the things you brought it up yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. Everything kind of
The days are.
together, but it's even the responses, right, to the holidays. It's they respond with the acknowledgement that they're dealing with people on the other side. They're not, so their response is, and there are bigger issues going on, right? So her lawyers end up giving a statement that's like me, I woe is me, right?
Yeah.
And their side is like, hey, there's bigger, thank you for all the support, and yet we recognize things are bigger, there's bigger things going on than this, and I hope that you have a good holiday, whatever you choose to do.
Yeah.
So choose the other one. There you go.
100%. And also, I'm just thinking about the fact that she is technically a New Yorker, if you will. I don't know that she's a New Yorker, like born and raised, but she's taught at NYU and Columbia. If anybody knows the demographic of New York, it's gonna be.
Oh, that's smart too.
You want her.
You're right.
Just people understand hearing she taught at NYU, she taught at Columbia. They're like, oh, this is one of us. That alone,
I don't think
it works.
I don't think an expert needs to be the person generating the content that they're explaining,
Yeah.
I know that in my field, like, we have reports and we have demographics that we have to break down, and I would say I'm an expert in my field and I don't generate the report, but I can explain it to someone.
Exactly.
So like I think that if she can break it down for people in a way that they understand it, and we're seeing it here, she's like very masterfully replying to Meryl. So
exactly.
And making certain distinctions. Yeah.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, I have no problem with people like thoroughly vetting somebody, right? And with a full acknowledgement, this is her first time getting to doing this litigation kind of stuff. I just think that there is a certain time where I'm going, how when does it become a little bit of an overkill? And I feel like they've hit that at times with this one.
I think their whole angle here is to discredit her. And I think they're going to use up all of their time and their extra 1 hour to do that.
I think that 1 hour is because Kevin Fritz said attorney-client privilege, and their whole point was like, well, she wasn't under attorney-client privilege, so we want to know what she discussed with these two lawyers. That was the separate counsel, which, and I mean, because the whole thing that they want to know was, like, were you told that we're looking for people that will say there was no smear campaign?
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I was trying to pull up her bio from Columbia.
They're trying to discredit this person who
you guys
went to school at Columbia, right? And then taught at NYU.
Yeah.
Got her master's at University of Cambridge.
Yeah.
And is an adjunct professor and wrote a book. Didn't write.
Yeah. They're like, just a book.
I know
a book.
When they said that, she was just like, oh, you didn't write any papers or journals, just a book, basically. I was like, the audacity.
Like, and you're not published anywhere?
Just a book, I guess.
It reminds me of, if you guys have seen Grey's Anatomy, there's an episode where Teddy Altman comes from Afghanistan, and Christina Yang is like, oh, so you've never been published? And Teddy's like, no, I'm just a surgeon. I'm just an army combat surgeon. And it turns out Teddy Altman was going to be the best surgeon Christina Yang has ever come across. But you guys, this is Nicole. I just pulled up her bio from Columbia School of Professional Studies. Yep. She is serving face too, honey.
Oh, yeah. That's a great
She's going to eat that jury up. They put her on that stage.
I really love that lipstick.
I love it.
Yeah, she looks great.
I just said yesterday how I can do a bold lip. Like a red lip. It's working for her. I mean, her tone is also like much lighter than me, but she is pulling up that red lip. But you guys, this is her everything on the Columbia page. The woman is accomplished. I dare them to really try to like put her on a stand and make her look anything but that. Like, the jury's already going to be annoyed with that. Like, They're gonna be annoyed at that. And the braids too. I love that. She got the braids in her headshot. I love that. April, I love that you noticed that. All right, you guys, let's get back to the
Oh,
drill.
by the way, real quick, there is a super chat that came
Okay.
in.
Bocce would catch that. My screen is split. Thank you. Gloria, thank you so much. Elaine J. What is that? I don't know what that says. Brenda Foot?
Brenda Hoft.
Brenda Hoft
Brenda Hoft.
did that to Dr. Shannon Curry during the JD trial. Who is JD?
Johnny
Trial.
Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Oh, I never watched that.
You
to
would
credit
just
her.
love Elaine.
People keep telling me that,
Oh.
but I never watched. I was at home chilling, making bread. Like I was deep in the pandemic, just making bread and chilling. I never paid attention to that. I
You
wish I
should watch
had.
some clips, some highlights of
I
Elaine.
need to. I need to get on my Johnny Depp trial bag. All right. We just picked up right here from personal knowledge.
Rather than academia.
Academia. Yeah, rather than having to reference me, going to reference something.
Understood. Let's look at 108.
Okay.
Okay, you see it lists academic materials.
Yes.
Are these all the academic papers that you use, that you relied on for purposes of your report?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, and if you look at page 109, there was a report by, you cite an article by Beluda, right?
Yes.
Okay, you see there's an article by Beluda, right?
Are you looking at page 108, Meryl?
Nope, I'm looking at, oh, you know what? It might be the new report. Sorry, I'm working off the old report. Yep. 108, you see Beluda?
I do.
And it's called Investigating Coordinated Account Creation Using Burst Detection and Network Analysis. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, that's in the article. It's in the Journal of Big Data. That wasn't one of the journals that you read regularly.
It's not one of the ones I listed earlier, no.
Is it one of the ones you read regularly?
No.
Let's go to your report, paragraph 20.
Okay.
Let me just make sure it's still 20. You see that there is a footnote there at the end of paragraph 20 to footnote 2.
Yes.
You see that it's unlike the other title, which was Investigating Coordinated Account Creation Using Burst Detection and Network Analysis. This has a different title. Why is that?
I do not know. I would have to check to see the copy of the article that I provided on what the actual name is.
Well, it can't be both, right?
Objection.
I would say not.
Is this what a hallucinated site looks like? It has plausible but factually incorrect information.
Objection. You can answer.
I'm sorry, hallucinated site or citation?
Hallucinated site. Is there a difference?
I'm not sure what a hallucinated site is. That's why I want to clarify.
Okay, well, is this a hallucination?
Objection.
I wouldn't say that. No, I would say that it's probably wrong if the two don't match, but I wouldn't say it's a hallucination.
Well, what is the explanation for the two not matching?
Objection. You can answer again.
Possible error.
Okay, well, let's look at one of the articles that your counsel provided us. I'm going to move and mark as exhibit, where are we, 5?
Yes, we're on Exhibit 5. Exhibit 5 marked for identification.
Okay, I'm going to introduce Exhibit 5, and it should be marked in exhibits, if you can open that.
Yes, I have it.
And what is this?
It appears to be from the Journal of Computational Science. It's an article, the Coordination Network Toolkit.
The Coordination Network Toolkit, a framework for detecting and analyzing coordinated behavior, right?
On social media, yes.
This is from Journal of Computational Social Science. If you look at the top, that's right?
That's what is listed, yes.
This is also not one of the journals you regularly read.
No.
And if you look at the top, it says 7.1139 to 1160. Do you see that?
Yes.
What do those numbers 1139 to 1160 indicate?
It should be the journal, the page, I'm not sure.
The page numbers where the journal starts, where the article starts?
Objection.
Honestly, I can't remember how that is usually signified, but something to that effect, yes.
Let's go to the next page and you will see 1140. Does that help explain what those numbers indicated?
Yes. So I'm assuming it's the page. Yes.
So the pages of this particular article is 1139 to 1160 in the Journal of Computational Social Science.
Yes.
Who are the authors of this paper?
Timothy Graham, Sam Hames, and Elizabeth Alpert.
Okay, and those are the only 3 authors listed here, right?
Yes, on the publication, yes.
Are you familiar with who those individuals are?
No,
Do you know anything about them?
no,
Do you know anything about the quality of their research?
no.
How did you identify this article?
Objection. You can answer.
I don't know how I identified it.
How did you know about it?
It could have been one of the ones that have it. I have a myriad of references to different articles.
I understand, but how did you decide to review this article for purposes of your report?
Objection. You can answer.
I'm not
Again.
sure how I selected this particular article.
Well, who would have selected it for you?
Objection.
I would have selected it for myself.
How did you find it?
As I mentioned, I have a lot of articles that I've read, I've clipped. I have numerous articles that I've read previously and I stored, and then I usually sort through them.
I understand, but you don't have a recollection of doing that with respect to this article?
I don't have a recollection of how I chose this specific article.
Okay, did you read the entirety of this paper?
Probably not recently, but yes, at some point.
Well, recently, like at some point, what do you mean?
I didn't review it for this deposition. I would have read this probably months ago, but yes.
You said you were retained in September, October. Did you read it since then?
Yes.
So can you summarize the contents of this paper for me, please?
Objection.
I cannot offhand.
You want her to read the entire article now?
No. Miss Alexander, you cite this article multiple times in your report. I'm asking for you to summarize it.
Do you want her to read it first?
No, she supposedly read it as she was preparing her report, Kevin. Miss Alexander, I'm asking you to please summarize the article that you cited multiple times.
Objection.
I understand that. So the article in of itself, it's about coordinated networks and the toolkit that the author used to identify them. I believe that would be a succinct summary.
Okay, what are some of the specific tools that they identify?
Objection.
I don't know this particular one just offhand.
Okay, can you name one of the tools that this article identifies?
One from the toolkit? No.
Okay, does this paper provide any formal definition of coordinated behavior in social media?
I would have to go through it and read it again.
Okay, well, as you reviewed it for purposes of your report, did you rely on any definition in this article for coordinated behavior in social media?
For this one, I'm not sure.
As you sit here today, can you explain how this paper defines coordinated behavior in social media?
You want her to review the article?
Kevin, stop with the speaking objections.
I just want to make sure the question is clear.
No,
Sorry.
she cited this. I'm entitled to her information that she has in her recollection today about this article.
Please try not to interrupt me. I just want to make sure that the witness and I both understand what you're asking her. If you're asking her from memory, then we understood.
Ash, please repeat back my question, which said, as you sit here today.
Sorry, I don't know why you interrupted me again. I excused it the first time because I thought it was a mistake, and now I'm learning it might not be. So you should just make clear whether you want her to go from memory or you want her to read the article. That's all I'm asking.
Mr. Fritz, you should stop with your speaking objections. Ash, please read back the question I asked.
All right, last question. Reads record as follows. Question. As you sit here today, can you explain how this paper defines coordinated behavior in social media?
So sitting here today, do you want her to scroll through the entire thing?
Mr. Fritz, stop with the speaking objections. No, I'm going to have to call the court. It's my deposition. Stop with the speaking objections. Miss Alexander,
We can call the court if you'd like because you keep interrupting me.
Miss Alexander, as you sit here today.
I just want to understand your question.
As she sits here today, I'm entitled to her recollection as she sits here today.
Just so the record is clear, do you want her to read the article now?
No, she relied on it in her report as you sit here today. Can you please repeat the question back, Ash? Because Mr. Fritz' 1 minute long speaking objection has distracted me from what the actual question was.
I just wanted to make sure we're all understanding what your question was.
Mr. Fritz, stop with the speaking objections. Ash, please repeat back the question.
Record reads as follows. Question. As you sit here today, can you explain how this paper defines coordinated behavior in social media?
Objection. You can answer.
I cannot offhand without going through and referencing the paper.
Okay, you cite to this article in page 87 as the only source for your claim that, quote, as read, coordinated influence operations exhibit distinctive network fingerprints, tight temporal synchronization, limited participant dispersion, high clustering coefficients, and centralized network structures with identifiable command and control hubs. Please identify what parts of this article you use to support that statement.
Objection. You can answer.
Specifically, I would have to go through the reference page and the location of, I would have to look at to see how I used it within the report and then go through the paper to see how I cited it.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's go to 109 in your report.
Are you saying you want her to read the article now?
No. Go to 109 of your report is what I said. Paragraph 109. I'm sorry. Let's go to paragraph 87.
Okay.
Are you at paragraph 87 of your report?
Yes.
You refer to Graham et al. Do you see that?
Yes.
You have a footnote 11. Do you see that?
Yes.
If you look at that footnote, it says Graham et al. And you see the title here, Detecting Coordination Networks in Social Media. Do you see that?
Yes.
So that's a different title than what we just discussed, which was the Coordination Network Toolkit, a framework for detecting and analyzing coordinated behavior on social media, right? You can go back and look at Exhibit 5.
Okay.
And you can see the two titles don't match again, right?
Objection.
To what I've listed in the references?
No, the actual article.
Okay.
The actual article, you've read the title as being the Coordination Network Toolkit, a framework for directing and analyzing coordinated behavior on social media. That's not the same title as Detecting Coordination Networks in Social Media, right?
Objection. You can answer.
That is not.
So why is there different titles here?
I'm not sure.
Okay, and then we talked about the page numbers, and we talked about the page numbers 1139 to 1160 represent the number of pages that reflect this article, right?
Yes,
Okay, let's look at this footnote. You cite pages 23 to 47. Do you see that?
I do.
And those are the page numbers that you say supports the statement. As read, these findings align closely with recent computational social science research, which is the science sentence I just read. So please direct me to pages 23 to 47 in Exhibit 5.
So I'm
Okay,
assuming.
let's stop for a second. This is not looking good for her.
Mm-hmm.
She's not, and I was giving her a hard time for grilling her,
Yeah.
but I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's not looking good here.
Just right there, like if you've cited, I mean, again, a person could look up an article. We've all probably written papers at some point in our lives, right? Like you can read something and use like a tiny bit of it, but say like you're reading like a 5-page whatever, and it's a thing as it's on its own, but you use like 2 sentences from that. You still have to cite the whole thing. So there's a world where she uses a tiny bit of it, but she cites the entire thing. And now she needs her to recollect whatever the entire thing says, but she only needed like 2 sentences out of that entire thing. If you cite pages 20 whatever through 40 whatever, and you're being asked about it, but you only used a tiny portion of it, so that's all you that's all you needed, it's gonna be hard to recollect everything else if you never read that part.
Yeah, but I can see why people will say she wasn't prepped well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just that alone. And I can also see why Kevin was jumping in front of the grenade.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I will say too, he definitely was.
And it's, I mean, Meryl's question was not that confusing.
Nope, it was not.
Like, as far as, do you want her to read the document now as you sit? I mean, we've heard as you sit here today 100 times. it's always from memory. Like she's not
Mhm.
saying as you sit here today, if you read this, what does it make you remember? She's trying to
Mhm.
tell you as you sit here today, what do you remember from reading when you read it? And then
Mhm.
she could have given an answer that's not complete. But again, it's as you sit here today, but you were not able to answer any of that at all, which is what I'm saying. Like a person could see an article, cite the entire article, but only use a piece of it. If you only read 2 lines and you cite the whole thing, it's going to be pretty hard to remember from memory what you never read, which is what seems to be happening right now. Like this is definitely, like for sure, like definitely there is no memory of it because she's been able to answer things enough where if she had read it and there was any memory, she would have been able to
But I think this is what she's saying, right? She's trying to make the connotation that she didn't read it,
mhm.
that this is actually like all AI
Yeah,
generated.
just you just threw some AI stuff together.
And
I
this is why she was like, do you require them to cite this stuff? Like what if you use AI stuff?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Carol. What were you gonna say?
I guess I'm concluding something different because at first I did understand it the way that you guys were getting it, but then after rereading the question, I could see why he says "as you sit here today" because she jumped around pages
I
and
mean, yeah.
she jumped around pages. So he's like, you're referencing specific pages? Are you asking her to read it? Are you asking her to look at it?" And there was like if you go back to the questioning at the beginning, she does say it in a confusing way because I I know what you guys are saying, and I thought I was picking that up until I noticed how jumbled it was, and I'm like, it does make sense for him to ask that though. Like,
To a degree, but I could
yeah.
also I understand what you're saying, Carol, but I also understand the point that Meryl was making and the fact that as confusing as the question is, after she clarified it once or twice, it's not that confusing. She's trying to
Mm-hmm.
ask, you read this, you cited this. If I read, say if I watch, if somebody watches any video on our page, if somebody watches this entire live, you retain something. If you write a paper tomorrow for your professor and you say, citing Bocce, Carol, Elsie, Hannah, the alive, Bocce, whatever would have said this at minute 2 till minute 3. And they say, give us a summary of what you remember from that live. And you say, as I sit here today, I don't remember. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had to have remember when we paused and laughed, what we said. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you need to be able to tell us something from the live that you're citing to prove that
Mm-hmm.
you one read it, you two understood it, and you only used it here because it truly applies.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I have a hard
I guess
time with her not being able to give it anything.
Yeah, because
Not
you
even a
gave nothing.
not even a little kernel, not
Yeah.
even a little crumb.
And I was hoping,
that's it.
I'm like, whenever, I don't know if the way they have it set up, because it seems it was remote. So I'm like, whenever Kevin was trying to do the like objections, was that her time to quickly quickly look at the article and read through and remember
I mean,
something?
could it be that because I mean she is citing specific pages and she's saying, what do you recall from those specific pages?
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not concluding the same thing as you guys, and it's not because I'm like trying to side with them. I just
Yeah.
I
see
feel
what
like
you're
that,
saying, Carol.
yeah,
but
because I'm like I
Go ahead.
don't yeah I don't either I'm really slow or something because I'm like I don't understand how she is required to remember that specific portion and
Okay.
cite that specific portion and summarize that portion for them.
Okay, I can explain that to you. So she cited pages 1139 to 1160.
Yeah.
She cited it again. She didn't just copy and paste it. She cited it in conjunction with her report. So say if I make this report, right? Or say, let me use our video. I think that's the easiest thing. If we make this video and we're citing this deposition page, because we did read this deposition page and we worked on this video together, and I remember what I read on these deposition pages, if somebody 3 months from now asks me, hey, what do you remember from? I don't have to tell them exactly what it says line by line, but there has to be memory from just what I'm saying that I remember, what I wrote down. And like she has to remember. So I've written papers in college. We've all written papers. Like if you're gonna cite something, you don't have to remember verbatim. Nobody's asking you to do that. But there's a reason why you cited that. And it's something you have to be able to remember. Like I can't give that to her. Like to give nothing. And like Bocce, it's not like she gave and she tripped up. She had nothing for her. Because even after Kevin did all the objections and they came back, they were like, Miss Alexander, blah, 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 as you sit here today,
Mhm.
pages 1139, and it doesn't match. And I think there was also a mistake on her report, which maybe Meryl is trying to say you made a mistake here because maybe you didn't even legitimately cite it, because here you cited pages whatever, but here you cited pages whatever, and they don't match. And the titles that you use
Mhm.
doesn't make sense. So I can see why legitimately, if you've read something, and I'm telling you, I've written a plethora of papers in college. When you read something and you cite something, there is a part of it that's stuck. There's a reason why you cited it. And we've also all rushed and cited things because you need like 10 cites, 10 citations. So you just attach some citations. We've all done that before.
Mhm.
But if you cite a thick, give or take 30 something pages, there has to be some retention there. You know what I mean? And not just you
Mhm.
don't have to remember what you cited, but for your own report and why it applied, she could have given her that. She could have
Well, there's
been
a
like, I
comment
cited
here,
it
and it
because-
says like, but if that article was in a journal, it's possible that the page numbers differ from a standalone article where the title changed, but the content remained, i.e., the New York Times. The print version of it is different title than inside of a smear campaign, blah, blah, blah. The Sunday version does not read that in print.
but that's
It is
assuming, but that's
it's actually
assuming
different.
somebody wrote the article and you read it as a consumer. She wrote this report.
But
She wrote
she's
this report
citing
and
something that she
cited
did not write. So
right.
that's why I'm like,
No,
I
but
don't
you
think
have
that's
to
completely
realize that.
crazy.
But you have to realize that whatever she's citing, she didn't just cite it. It's included. They pulled it up, so they're asking her what she cited. Like they're not just asking her some random report that's supposed to match. Whatever site she gave them is what they're looking at, and the reports, the numbers match on one end on her thing, but they don't. And again, she could have still given an answer that shows she knows what she's talking about. And then if the dispute is page numbers or titles being wrong, we can talk about it later. But she had nothing for Meryl. I have to give that to Bocce. Like, to be fair, like she had nothing for, and it doesn't have to mean that she's not again, this is also her first time. So a mistake like this can happen. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not a seasoned expert witness or a seasoned expert report generator, for things like this. So a mistake like this can happen.
I don't know. I really don't. I don't see it as it being like, oh, a completely bad look. This feels like something that could happen. Like, for example, I did the game yesterday. I put the questions in there. I typed them. When you guys were answering, I could not remember what I typed in the answer. And I read the material. I read the article. I did AI stuff, and I myself put the answers, and then as you guys were answering, I couldn't remember. So to me, it doesn't seem like, oh, this is a bad look to forget one thing.
I will give you this. I know things like the back of my hand, but the pressure came on that one game.
Yes.
And then I was like, why can't I remember anything right now?
And let's say they trip you up, like, we know Gavrinsky, she's a good attorney, right? Their questions are set up to trip you up. Let's say, and I know because it's happened to me. And again, I'm not defending it from like, hey, I am a Baldoni stan, but not just from that stand. But I'm just like, it's not necessarily like, oh, that looks so bad. I feel like this could happen. That could happen to me. And I still think that I'm an expert in my field. So I'm like, I could take that information. If I get tripped up, I'd be like, wait, and then it's almost like I can't even say anything. I need to like reset. Like I can't just recover. I don't know. That's my story, and I'm sticking to
I
it.
see what you're saying. I just would have wanted her to give them something. Give her something, but nothing is crazy work.
Yeah,
you even remember we had a game show yesterday.
Give them something, and it's wrong, and it hurts Wayfair.
This is a deposition, though. She could give them something, and it could be, again, you're saying as I sit here today, she could say, you know what, I don't remember, but this is what I could give you. A sentence, 2 sentences. But she had nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, Carol, you're not an expert on creating games and everything like that. But the fact is, you remembered you created a game show yesterday. You remembered you typed in the questions, you typed in the answers. She had nothing for her.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
But I didn't remember certain specific parts of it. The bulk of it, sure, I remembered, but there's certain specific parts of it. Here, she's asking for specifics. So I don't know. I think, what did she say? What is the lady answer?
Oh, hold on 1 second. We have a chat. Thank you so much for the $4.99. As a medical professor, I read hundreds of journals and articles and attend several conferences a year. If someone asked me what I read, I would need to double check. 100%. If someone asks you what you read, I think we're forgetting she created a report that she worked on for a long time and cited something. And she's not asking what you read, like summarize the whole thing for me. Just the part that you cited that applies to your report.
But that's exactly it. I wrote the whole report. You're asking for a specific citing, like I'm supposed to remember the exact part that I took for the whole report as a gist. And she did give some sort of general answer. She did say, hey, it's an article about coordinated records, and this is a toolkit.
Okay. I'm gonna say this, Carol, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually what convinced me that she didn't know what she was saying, because literally she took the title and
name.
reworded the title
and explained the title. I picked up from that too.
Sorry,
and it was still different.
That's what convinced me. I was like, oh, girl,
and it was still different.
What are you doing? You're just rewording the title.
And it was still after like Kevin's objections.
No.
And it was still after Kevin's objections, which pretty much was like, girl, take a minute, figure out what you're gonna say.
But so here's what I feel about this whole thing. I'm probably with what people are saying. I understand both sides of this. I understand where you're coming from, Carol. For me, as a very detail-oriented person, this kind of stuff leaps out at me. It's the kind of thing that if it's Blake Lively, I would be all over this. And but it's not even if it's not Blake Lively, I'm all over this because it does not sit right with me. So I'm fairly consistent, I would say. So if this wasn't, even if this wasn't Blake Lively, which it isn't Blake Lively, I'm saying like that. It stinks a little bit for me.
Yeah,
and not even just a little bit.
One thing I will say,
I agree. Go ahead, Hannah.
Both of you guys. But one thing, there's a couple things. It's like, how many citations does she have in her article or whatever compilation of information? And it just shows like, yeah, she really wasn't prepped very well. That's the thing. I'm not sure if it's that it's like really bad looking for her, or it's just she just wasn't prepared. I don't know.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I want to be clear too. Even though, like, to me, there's red flags all up in this, and just what they've been asking her, just the page numbers alone is enough to make me go blah 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 blah. Red flag. The way she described the article based off of just rewording the title, I'm like, red flag. With that said, we just got to keep going and see if it gets better. Because right before it, I'm like feeling like I don't like how Meryl's handling it,
and that could still be fact.
And that's still fact. Yeah. However, it does repurpose it in my mind a little bit though, to go, if she thinks she has this information, right, where then all of those things, all of those questions have a different feel to me, because they were there. Then it starts to feel very purposeful, which as a lawyer, you do have to be purposeful. And so she almost like built the thing, every little piece, because she knew she was. That's why I was saying, is she coming? Is she coming with the, Yeah. So anyways, let's go back, because I'm still interested in where we go from here.
Honestly, like, for everybody's sake, like, I just have to be honest with the fact that if this was a witness from Blake Lively's team and they got Brian Freeman or somebody was like, and this and that, I'd be like, gotcha. You got me. I would have been celebrating. Like, you're not that good there. And again, this is a 354-page deposition. If you trip her up 3 pages and that's it, good on you. Like, whatever. If everything else, and again, this doesn't discredit her. This is just this moment. If it's just this part of the report. Now, if we're about to find out at every step of the report, say another citation comes up and you still don't know, another citation comes up and we still
That's
don't
too
know.
Much pattern.
That's too much.
That's too many patterns. That's
Carol,
a pattern.
how do you feel about that? Say we get to another step of this and they bring up another citation or another point and they reference something in her own report. And I think that's what we keep missing. is they're not just asking her to recall what she read on some journal. In conjunction with your report, you cited this. Why did you feel like this they met? Right? So what if we get to another part and they bring up the report again and they're like, you cited whatever page. Why did you do that? How do you feel about that?
Wait, how come I can
You're
hear
muted.
you? I can't hear you.
Did your mic die again? But
Can you hear me?
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, honestly, I just don't see it because I'm like, I guess you know what? It could be that I'm also a visual person, so I'm not seeing what she's seen.
Okay.
And to just have the title and to say, hey, do you remember this? Girl, you gave me nothing. Like, I'm reading this and this doesn't make any sense, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
And
I also want to address real quick, this stating is giving a very ableist tone. That, I think, is taking things out of context to
Who said
say
that?
Casey, because that's assuming that we're going to give somebody who has that is not the same thing, because I'm not expecting that for everybody across the board, this expectation that they know this stuff.
Yeah.
If she had expressed something that to explain why she wouldn't remember this stuff, like, of course I will always look at it as a case by case situation. It's not like, oh, I'm going to use this what do you call it, criteria for every single person. I'm not. I am talking about this specific individual and how she handled this question. I'm not going to treat every person the same way, Casey. I just want to be clear about that. And so this idea that I'm going to use the same line of thinking if I knew somebody had any disability, or that I expect everybody to have an amazing memory or all of these different things, that's almost sidestepping what the issue is here. She is going to be an expert. She is going to be grilled. She's going to be on the stand. This is very damaging if you can't get it together and say what you need to say, because it just is. It's the circumstances.
I think the beauty of this too is you guys realize we're all here pretty much. If you're on this channel, you support all of us, you know, we are very highly, let me speak for myself, it's Justin Baldoni till the chickens come home to roost. But the point of this conversation is, if we were sitting on a jury, we just had this conversation in real time. You realize that we're Justin Baldoni all the way, but we just sat on this panel and had this conversation about the fact that this piece of this expert's testimony just tripped us up. But it doesn't mean Blake Lively was assuaged.
Yep. Nope. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get that twisted.
Right. Don't get it twisted.
Right?
You know,
it doesn't mean there was a smear campaign. It just means for the 5 minutes where she's going to testify on this portion, or 10 minutes, move on. I don't care. It didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, I think for me it's going to be one. I don't see I am a visual person, and I don't see what they're seeing as they're seeing it, and you know, maybe that does change the context of like, oh, why can't you remember? It's right there in front of you. You know, like, why can't you remember this? However, like I guess in we'll have to see, because it is important, I guess, if it's a pattern. But I just don't see how a woman of her caliber and her career would just AI it and put it in there and not have read the documents that she's citing. Like, it just, a woman of her caliber, a woman of color, like, you work so much harder than your white male counterpart, because you got to prove that you deserve a seat at the table. So I guess that's where I'm coming from, and like where my defensiveness is like, I don't believe that she didn't read it, and that's true. You know, like, I think like it she could forget it. Like, dude, she's really smart. She has a lot of information in her brain. She could forget it. Yeah.
And I agree with Carol. And so that's why I also said she could have cited that entire article and used literally 2 sentences from there, which makes the whole thing look like she didn't read it, but she didn't need to do all that. If you're citing a paper, we all wrote papers in college. If you're citing something and it's a 10-page document, you take 2 sentences from there. You can't just be like, oh, it was just 2 sentences, I'm going to ignore it. You have to cite the thing. But that doesn't mean if somebody asked me, hey, what was on page 35? I don't know. I didn't reach past page 12. That's all I needed. But again, it's just, and this is just to be honest and be real. We can't sit there and just be la-di-da and act like it's cute. No, this was a point where if a jury is actually paying attention and listen, they're gonna be looking at each other like, oh. But Amy's comment is up here because it's perfect. Other testimony is most likely and will definitely override the small citation issue. Like nobody's gonna care about the citation when they go home. Remember when that lady didn't remember that document? No, there is no SH, and that's the real bulk of this conversation. So I hope we didn't.
And here's the thing, and we will move on right after I just say this final piece around this. I think it's important to always be honest about what we're feeling. Yeah. And Carol was honest about what she's feeling. Elsrich is being honest about what she's feeling. I'm being honest with what I'm feeling. Hannah, with the little thing that you probably have said, is being honest. The chat is being honest with what they're feeling, right? I think that's all I really encourage all of us to do. And for me, I can't feed people lines just so I can make you like me or want to continue to listen to me. I need to know that I'm being honest with you. And so if I'm feeling something's a little bit off, I will say that. And and it makes me really actually annoyed a little bit when I feel like people I can expect it on the Blake Lively side, right? But when I experience it on the Justin Baldoni side, I do get irritated. Where it's like, don't ever say anything that could make it seem like it's bad for Justin. And I'm like, that is not the point. The point is about being in. Yeah,
just so they're gonna clip. This is a 3-hour live. Somebody's gonna clip the part where we disagree. And that's gonna go viral.
I want to make the point that it's about being intellectually honest about what you're experiencing and what you're feeling in the moment. And it's not about appeasing people and say, I will always 100% say something that is always going to be great for Justin. I think the majority, if not 98% of the things are good for Justin, but there is is never going to be 100%. And if people demand that of people, you're just, I mean, maybe this is the reason why my channel grows very slowly, because I'm not going to do that to people.
No, but Bocce, that's perfect what you just said. But I think that's what people also need to understand. That is why this community is the way it is. We can look at things for what they are. We don't need to pad things and sugarcoat things, but it still doesn't amount to why we're here. Okay, fine. He slapped the chair. He yelled at you. What is he saying? Okay, fine. He said Jenny Slate looked good in the leather pants. That was one time. Okay, fine. This witness tripped up about citations. No SH, no smear campaign. The math is still gonna math at the end of the day. Now we're gonna take a detour, maybe, but it doesn't mean, oh my God, she missed a citation. Blake Lively was SH. That's not what this means. But that's part of the conversation. And that's why I think people see us like, okay, the objective, if it's crazy, it looks crazy. But it doesn't mean the whole picture is wrong.
And
this
I think
part looks shifty.
But that's why I pointed out, like, guys, I'm not trying to say like, it's this here's my point of view because I'm trying to defend this stance. I'm saying it from a person. Like from a person, I'm like, well, this seems like a reasonable slip up to me. Honestly, it didn't even feel like a slip up. So when you guys had that reaction, I was like, what am I missing? Because it didn't feel like how you guys flagged it. It didn't feel like that to me. It felt like, oh, well, yeah. And also what I did take note of was like, at what point does those questions come? After they've continuously attacked her knowledge and her experience. And I'm sure that there's some lawyer speak there that rocks confidence. And then boom, there's that question. Because it was all this question about your career. And then here we're jumping to the citation. And I think we'll also have to pick up on that pattern. Like, do we see that often?
Yeah. 100%. And this is the conversation that needs to be had. It would be ridiculous if we're just sitting here like, oh my God, she did a citation. Great. We all agree that's perfect. Like, no. And again, if we were a jury, we just don't agree right now. If we were a jury, there's no verdict right now. We're not unanimous. That's all you need to know. 12 people are not going to be like, oh my God, the citation was gone. Duh, out of here. Six are gonna be like, girl, I don't remember what I ate for breakfast, and we just got here 2 hours ago. And then
Someone
people are gonna be like, I remember everything.
Someone said Jenny Slate couldn't remember her stuff. And Alex Sachs,
Neither can Alex Sachs.
yeah, so
Alex Sachs didn't remember why she was being yelled at, for God's sake. So honestly, this is part of the conversation.
Yeah, I think that's something that I think also in their closing arguments they need to tie up all this kind of stuff so that if there's any weaknesses in it, you just point out, okay, well, here's other things you got to consider to offset that concern.
Honestly, and I think that's the beauty of this, is the fact that a jury is not going to be team Justin till the death or team Blake. There's going to be people that like, I don't care that the one lady didn't know citations. And also the fact that Wayfair knows this, they know how to handle. You don't think that lady is going to brush up on her facts before trial? Bring up the deposition. Yeah, she's going to tell you she was sick, she was ill during the deposition, and this could probably never see the light of day. And we've just wasted however many minutes talking about this now. But that's the point of a jury, right? That's the point of different minds, like Christina, I think, or Kinney just said, being in a room and somebody, if say we were in a room right now of a jury, me and Bocce could have had this reaction. Carol just made us realize, okay, that doesn't mean anything to me. I have this exact same sentiment, or the other way around. So anything happens, anything goes. This is not a sticking point for no reason at all. This is not a point that should be, that should be causing anybody any type of sleepless nights. Like we're good to go.
Yeah, it's bad,
the Wayfair parties, it's not like Blake's team was like, let's show the public this. Wayfair was like, yeah, give it to them. Then I text Bocce that as much earlier. I was like, this is not Blake Lively's team that dropped this to us. Oh my God, see how unprepared the expert was. Wayfair gave us this, which is something we can always appreciate about them. Whether it's great, bad, mucky, whatever, they're like, you guys
remember when they dropped his voicemail? I mean, voice
note. They were like, you guys
there were people who were like, who dropped this?
Yeah,
is this really them? But then everybody took it very differently, right? Everybody took it very differently.
Exactly. I think
we do appreciate the gift, Fritzy.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think in the long run, this is going to be inconsequential. Like,
we're putting it on
the
docket.
Wait to see it happens further in the deposition to see if.
Yeah, there's somebody.
I'm withholding judgment until.
Yeah, there's somebody in the chat that keeps saying, "Just wait, there's more coming" or something like that, and I'm like,
thank you for letting me know, Christina. I guess the person that I'm responding to must be in like Elsrich's.
Why? What happened?
Oh, I had sent a message to Casey.
Oh, right here
in the chat.
Bocce said
to reach out to me at boccegohawks@gmail.com, because that kind of feedback is really important to me. Like, I mean, especially in the field that I'm in. So for someone to say that is really like cuts very deeply.
Oh, what? And
so I really want to make sure that I understand where they're coming from and which aspects I need to work on, if that is the assumptions that they're making about
right here. This message.
No, about the ableist.
Oh,
the ableist.
Message. Oh,
in my tone. I mean, I'm assuming it's me because I like memory. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not me, but
I thought it was for me.
But if it is
I
me,
thought it was for Carol for some reason.
For me too, because that's exactly what I said. Like, if it's for me, I don't need to have a conversation.
But if it's for Carol, she doesn't want a conversation. If it's for Carol, she doesn't want a conversation. But if it's for me, I really do want one.
It was for me. It's as deep as we talked about it here, and that's
done. Yeah, it doesn't need to go further.
Like that, there's nothing else for me to explain to you, other than like that's my thought. I shared it with my friends, and we fleshed it out because like I didn't get where their reaction was coming from. I didn't see it, so I'm like, if it's for me, I don't.
You guys have no idea why I'm laughing when I tell you you're gonna cackle.
What?
Game show Carol never left.
Oh my God.
Turns out game show Carol is the real Carol, you guys. Carol said, yeah, I
just imagine how long that game would have been.
We'll just flesh it out in this discussion, and that'll be it.
Oh my God. Yo, when Carol got super mean yesterday, she tried to cover it up like, oh, I'm just a game show host, director today. I'm not gonna let you walk all over me. Turns out she's back out.
No,
Oh,
I mean,
love you guys so much. Okay,
no,
let's-
I love that, Carol. But so just to clarify, if it was for Carol, she does not want to have a conversation with you. But
if it was,
but
I
if
have no idea
but
why
if
we're
it
talking
was-
about this.
but if it was me that you were talking about in regards to ableist language, I would actually want a conversation genuinely, because it does matter to me. And I know people are like, "Oh, don't take it." No, I genuinely like.
But
I
how did
never want
ableism
somebody to
come
feel
up
that
in
way.
this? I'm so confused how we got to ableism.
Well, that's why I need to have a conversation and understand where the person's coming from.
Okay, I would like to know, just for the purposes of how we got there. Not that I didn't. I don't.
Hey, someone said, Carol, if you let it go, don't come back with a 17-point list later.
You guys. We could create a game show just from this live.
All right, well,
oh
we
my
can
God.
move. We can move on. We can move forward.
Okay, let's go. Let's
Can I
continue.
just one more before we go? From the 3-hour and 27-minute live Bocce, Carol, and Elsie held, there was a question about citation. What is Nicole Alexander, page 139 to 160? I would win that point, just saying. If we ever make another game show, Carol, please remember to put that question in there for the final round.
What page are we on? I just lost my spot. Okay.
38 of 184, technically 142.
Okay, 142. Got it.
And I think we left somewhere around the footnote. Let's just pick it up. So we
okay.
don't lose our minds.
Okay. Okay, let's look at this footnote. You cite pages 23 to 47. Do you see that?
I do.
And those are the page numbers that you say supports the statement as read. These findings align closely with recent computational social science research, which is the sentence I just read. So please direct me to pages 23 to 47 in Exhibit 5.
So I'm assuming this is an error, but I don't, that's not part of your exhibit.
Those page numbers don't match the exhibit that your counsel provided to us, right?
It doesn't match the paper that I submitted, no.
Is this a hallucinated citation?
Objection.
No, I wouldn't call it I wouldn't call it a hallucinated. I wouldn't call it hallucinated because it's an actual paper. It's incorrect on the way that it was picked up for the title of and the year.
So it says Graham et al., but if you listed authors who were not the authors who appeared, would that be an indication of a hallucination?
I'm sorry, if I listed authors that did not appear?
On the publication.
So I think that you're using the word hallucination. That is not a hallucination to me. That is incorrect, but hallucination is different.
Well, if a citation includes authors who were not the authors of the paper, wouldn't that be a hallucination?
I'm sorry, but didn't she in the beginning say these are the names that appear on the journal anyway? If you're citing it, whether they wrote that portion or not, you still have to put the names of everybody on the thing.
Objection.
By definition, no.
If it made up authors who were not the authors, that would not be a hallucination?
Objection.
If a generative AI solution made up authors, then yes, that would be a hallucination.
Okay, so let's look at Exhibit 55, which we already talked about. And we talked about the three authors. You recall that Graham, Hames, and Albert. Do you recall that those were the only three authors identified in this article?
Is one in one that we're looking at? Yes.
Okay, let's go back to your report, which is Exhibit 002, and let's go to page 108. And I'm going to share my screen so it's a little easier. Oh, I am showing my screen, I guess. And you see right here, Graham, this is the article we're talking about, right? Detecting Coordination Networks in Social Media, Journal of Computational Social Science. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and you see that it lists additional authors here, Bruns, Zhu, and Campbell. Do you see that?
Yes.
Those authors were not in the article, right?
On the article we looked at? No, they were not.
Well, do you have any reason to believe that the other article that your counsel provided to us as this article is not the article that you intended to reference here?
No, I believe this is the article I intended to reference.
So how can you explain a citation that makes up authors who are not the authors identified in the article?
Objection. You can answer that again.
I'm sorry, Kevin?
You can answer.
So so there are a couple of things wrong. So it's in general, it's just incorrect. I mean, outside of the author, the date is also incorrect. So
Right. So how did you just said earlier that if a citation were to include authors who did not appear on the article, it would be a sign of hallucination. A hallucination.
Objection.
How is that not the case here?
So I believe I said if something was developed through a generative AI solution that added authors, it would be an example of hallucination.
And how do you know that's not the case here?
Because I know this wasn't generated by AI, by generative AI.
Okay, well, let's look at that. Let's look at the paragraph that you cite this for. Paragraph 86.
Objection.
Sorry, 87. This is the
Ma-
same paragraph we've been looking at, right? Where you cite Graham. Oh, by the way, have you ever applied the concepts that you cite Graham for in your professional life?
I'm sorry, which concepts are we specifically talking about?
The concepts that you reference here in this paragraph 87.
So temporal synchronization, yes. Participation, dispersion, yes. And command and control hubs, yes.
Okay, but when you applied those concepts, were you relying on Graham?
As a practitioner, no.
So my colleague is going to be moving into a document, which I will mark as Exhibit 6. Let me know when you have it. Autumn, are you here?
I'm here. I just entered it in. It says it's being introduced. Exhibit 6 marked for identification.
Okay, do you have that document, Exhibit 6, up?
It's loading right now.
Okay, I'm also sharing my screen. Let me know when you have it.
I can look at your screen. It's taking a while to download.
Okay, this is a GPT-0 report, and you will see it has the exact verbatim of paragraph 87. Do you see that?
Can you zoom in?
Right here. These findings align closely with recent computational social science research. And you will see it's that same citation to Graham that we just looked at in paragraph 87.
Okay.
Okay, and at the top, it states that as read, we are highly confident this text is AI generated and lists AI probability at 100%. Do you see that?
I see that.
Do you have any explanation for GPT-0's finding that is 100% probability that paragraph 87 is AI generated?
Objection.
No.
You have no explanation for that.
Objection. You can answer again.
No, I do not. As I mentioned earlier, I don't believe in AI analysis for the use of identify something that is generative AI. I think we talked about that earlier.
So if Grammarly found the same paragraph had a 70% chance of being generated by AI, would that change your perception at all?
So Grammarly has a feature that is also an AI checker. AI checker? Which again is similar to what I mentioned earlier with the accuracy of overall AI checkers.
Okay, so what about the fact that GPT-0 predicted this paragraph was 100% likely to be AI, and Grammarly predicted this paragraph to be 70%? Your response is that both GPT-0 and Grammarly must be inaccurate?
Objection. You can answer again.
So I don't think it's about the inaccuracy. I think it's about AI generated checks not simply being accurate. And research outside of my statement has also seen this to be true.
Okay, and then a third AI checker, TextGuard, found this one paragraph to be 86% likely to be AI. So I'm just trying to understand, is it your testimony that this is just a coincidence?
Objection. You can answer again.
My testimony is that AI generated checkers are inadequate and not accurate.
How come the paragraphs in your report that described your background all came back as human generated?
Objection.
I don't know why.
And why did the paragraphs in Dr. Maislin's report come back as 0% AI generated?
Objection.
I couldn't answer that.
Do you have any explanation for why GPT-0 would predict that 101 paragraphs of your report have 100% probability of being AI?
Objection.
I couldn't answer that.
Do you have any explanation for why GPT-0 predicted that an additional 28 paragraphs of your report had a 90% probability of being AI?
Objection.
I still can answer that.
And do you have any explanation for why GPT-0 predicted that another 35 paragraphs of your report had an 80% probability of being AI?
Oh, sorry.
So do you have any explanation for why 164 paragraphs out of 200 in your report had an 80% likelihood of being AI?
Objection.
I don't know.
Okay, let's go back to your report where you cite Graham again. And I'm sharing it on my screen for ease of use. Do you see paragraph 97?
I would use the exhibit share, Ms. Alexander.
I'm there.
Okay, and you see that in the first paragraph, you cite Graham, Howard, and Woolley and Ferreira. Do you see that?
Ferreira? I do. Sorry.
Okay, what is the Howard and Woolley article?
I would have to go back to reference the documents or the articles that I submitted.
As you sit here today, based on your recollection, what is this article about?
I can't tell you offhand. I would have to reference the article itself.
Okay, as you sit here today, can you explain why the Howard and Woolley article supports the statements in this paragraph?
Objection.
I cannot.
What about Ferreira et al.? What do you recall about that article?
I have to look at the article.
As you sit here today, do you have any recollection about what that article was about?
Objection.
I don't know offhand.
And as you sit today, do you have any recollection for how the article by Ferreira supports any of the statements in paragraph 97?
Objection.
Without referencing the article, no.
And did you write this paragraph?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Every word?
So the citations themselves I get from Zotero, but yes, the copy itself, yes.
Any idea how GPT-0 would predict the likelihood of this paragraph?
Objection.
I don't know.
Would you be surprised to learn that GPT-0 projected that this paragraph was 100% likely to be AI generated? Why would she be surprised? You literally just said that
You just
a while
told her.
back.
Yeah.
Objection. You can answer.
I'm sorry. What was the question there? I apologize.
Would you be surprised to learn that GPT-0 predicted that there was 100% likelihood that this paragraph was AI generated?
Objection.
Same answer. I wouldn't be surprised or not surprised.
Okay. And then TextGuard also found that this paragraph was 92%.
Oh, you're here.
Yeah, could you go back up? Okay. 92% most likely to be AI generated. Would that surprise you?
Objection.
Same answer. I wouldn't be surprised or not surprised.
Okay, and so these bullets here, as read, centralized amplification hubs, temporal synchronization, sentiment homogeneity, is that it? You wrote, it's your testimony that you wrote these bullets.
Yes.
Okay, and there's no citation for these bullets. So is this one of those examples where the basis for these are just your own experience?
Yes. Those are also some of the same verbiage I used earlier when we talked about the work that I did at Meta as well as Ipsos.
Right. So that verbiage, and when you talked about it earlier, that's not based on academia. That's just based on your own experience.
That's based on my expert experience. Yes. Sorry.
And not academia, right?
I believe this is also associated in academia. Yes, correct.
What academia?
I'm sorry. What do you mean by what academia?
What academia supports these specific bullets that we've been discussing?
There is research around account clustering, sentiment homogeneity, across data analysis, and computational science.
Okay, and what is the academia?
I believe you're asking if I can cite the author and the paper. I can't do that offhand.
I'm asking for the basis of the bullets that don't include a citation.
Objection. You can answer again.
It's from my lived experience, as well as I believe norms across social analysis of social media and academia as well.
Okay, but you can't, as you sit here today, cite any academia that supports these specific bullets.
Objection.
I can't provide an author and the paper offhand.
I'm not asking for the paper and the author, but just what academia supports these specific bullets.
Same objection.
Maybe I don't understand the question when you say which academia. So looking at marketing and social analysis in academia, right, which is a discipline. So there's been research done to show coordinated fingerprinting in academia, as well as on the practitioner side.
I'm trying to identify and understand what academia you relied on when you came up with this bulleted list.
The bulleted list is based on my lived experience, as I mentioned, but it's also supported in addition in academic research.
And I'm entitled to know what academic research you relied on for coming up with these bullets.
Objection.
So I think I'm saying the same thing over and over again. So it's based on the research that I've done myself as a practitioner. And in addition to that, I also believe that there is research on these particular elements across marketing science and social analysis. I do not have, before you ask, I do not have a citation offhand to offer you offhand.
So your report does not disclose the academia in which you relied for these paragraphs in paragraph 97.
Objection.
That's incorrect.
So
As I stated,
what is the academia? Yeah, go on. Sorry.
it's based on my experience as a practitioner, period. I'm saying I also believe, in addition to that being the basis of the bullets, I also believe that there is academic research that supports it as well.
But that's a belief based on your intuition and not what is cited in your report.
Objection.
It's based on my understanding of articles I've read across academia of different conferences, a myriad of other things.
And do you understand that you're required to identify all of the academia that supports the opinions that you're offering in this case?
Objection.
I understand that if I'm using academic sources, as I mentioned in my last answer, these bullets, first and foremost, are based on my practitioner experience.
And you cannot, as you sit here today, think of any of the articles that inform these bullets.
Objection.
Of the citations, no, I cannot. Of referencing a title of a paper and the authors, no, I cannot.
And how would you go about finding that out?
I would do a scholar search based on keywords.
And you can do that?
Yes.
So why didn't you do that when you were putting together Appendix C?
So as I mentioned, for this particular content, again, it's based on practitioner work, which would not be needed for an academic citation.
Okay, let's go to your Appendix C, where you again are expected to list all of the materials that form the basis of your opinion. And on page 108, you cite a legal case called Daubert. Do you see that?
Yes.
Why did you list Daubert?
Daubert is something I read early on when this litigation first was presented to me.
Why did you read Daubert?
For just research and knowledge.
Did you just decide on your own to read Daubert?
I would instruct the witness to the extent your answer requires you to disclose substantive communications with counsel, you not reveal that. But independent of that, go ahead.
So it was nothing to do with any conversational conversation with counsel. It was something that I did just proactively.
Okay, how did you learn about Daubert?
Honestly, I think I Googled it.
Okay, what prompted you to Google Daubert?
The engagement with GLG.
The engagement with GLG, or like 12 years ago, or in this case?
When GLG reached out to me regarding a potential litigation case, I Googled it.
Okay, and what is your understanding of Daubert?
So I read it a while ago. I can't quote the case, but it talks about methodology, rigor, or being able to, I'm paraphrasing, source and have a chain of custody, I believe, something to that effect. Effect on how you represent information.
And is your entire understanding of what Daubert stands for based on your own Google search?
Yes, based on my own reading, correct.
Okay, you're not a lawyer.
No, I'm not.
Do you hold yourself out as an expert on the Daubert standards?
Not at all.
So when your ninth opinion states that the methodologies employed in this analysis meet established standards, you have no expertise in determining what meets Daubert standards, right?
Outside of what I read, no.
Outside of what you read on Google?
Well, actually, outside of what I read on the U.S. Justice website.
Okay, you have no independent experience other than having read the case.
Correct.
And you talk about Daubert in paragraphs 100 to 106 of your report, and you write, as read, under the Daubert standard and its progeny, courts evaluate expert methodology based on several criteria. What is your understanding of Daubert progeny?
So it is the case, well, the components based on what I downloaded and read from the U.S. Justice website.
Okay, and you wrote that sentence under the Daubert standard and its progeny.
Objection.
Yes.
Okay, and what does surprise you? That GPT-0 predicted this paragraph also to be 100% likely to be AI.
Objection.
Okay, is it the word progeny? I'm sorry, I'm confused about that. It's a case and then it's the word progeny added onto it. So I'm not sure what would be generative AI about that.
I'm just trying to understand how you came up with the sentence under the Daubert standard and its progeny. Courts evaluate expert methodology based on several key criteria.
I mean, it's
Objection.
again, I probably read it on the Justice's website.
Okay, and I don't understand why you were offering an opinion on whether your methodology meets Daubert's standard if you're not an expert in Daubert. Can you please explain?
Objection.
So I added that. So I added that specifically. I added that in specifically to ensure that my work would meet the criteria that would be relevant for the report itself.
Even though you have no expertise in the Daubert standards.
Outside of what I read, no.
Okay, what is your understanding of what your assignment was in this case?
Objection. You can answer again.
So excuse me. So my assignment was to, as a rebuttal expert, was to review the plaintiff's select expert reports and offer my perspective on if the inference made on the reports were accurate. If there were areas that I would say made sense, did it make sense, answering questions around specifically, is a campaign inorganic or organic, and offering any additional context in regards to Dr. Maisling's report or Dr. Humphrey's report.
Were those terms organic and inorganic specifically used when discussing your assignment with you?
That term?
Hold on. To the extent the question and your response is calling for the disclosure of information that would be protected by the attorney-client privilege, I would instruct you not to answer. And that is how I understand the question.
You use the terms organic and inorganic to describe your assignment, right?
I did, yes.
Okay, and you understood that your assignment was to make the determination between organic and inorganic, those specific words.
So that was not the charge. I used that based on the way that I looked at the analysis.
Okay, what was the charge?
Excuse me? The charge was to...
Objection. You can answer again.
The charge was to read through Dr. Maisling's and Dr. Humphrey's reports and offer any perspective as a rebuttal witness to see if the outcomes, the inferences that they made or the way they analyzed the data was accurate or inaccurate.
And that was the entire scope of your assignment?
Yes, that was the charge I was giving.
Okay, so when did you receive the expert reports that you were assigned to rebut?
I'm not sure of the exact date. I know there was only about 2.5 week turnaround time for November 3rd. So I would say November 3rd, backing that out by 2.5 weeks.
So yeah, like October 17th is, I believe, the date that the experts were served. So that sounds about right. So did you and Ms. Hunter start your data analysis before that time or only after you received the reports?
After we received the reports.
What is your experience with Dr. Maislin?
I don't know Dr. Maisling.
Have you ever met Dr. Maislin?
Nope.
You cite in your report an article by Dr. Maislin. Do you recall reading an article that she wrote?
I do.
Okay, tell me about it.
Objection.
I can't recall the name of the article. It's in my report as a footnote. I originally read through the article and was going to use it within the context of my report. I decided not to, and I removed the commentary, but left the footnote.
And you didn't list that actually in your appendix C. Why is that?
Because I didn't end up using her article.
But you read her article.
Yes, I read the article.
Oh, I did. Line 14.
Oh, but you read the article. I did.
In the context of preparing your report.
Yeah, I read the article.
And strike that. How did you decide that you didn't need to list it in appendix CC?
To my understanding, the materials relied upon was the materials that I relied upon for the final report. So based on the content that was in that report.
So is your testimony that your appendix CC does not include everything that you reviewed in the course of preparing your report, but only the things that you determined you would rely upon?
Objection.
Correct. I believe yes.
So why did you cite the Maislin? Now I forgot how to say it.
I think it's
Maislin study, and then keep the citation in your report, but then not list it in your materials considered?
Objection.
You can answer again.
You could answer again.
I'm sorry. Could you just repeat the question?
Yeah, it's your testimony that you didn't list it in Appendix C, because you didn't rely on it, but you still cite it as support in your report. So I'm trying to understand why you included it as a citation.
Objection.
Because I don't cite it in my report. I should have removed the footnote when I removed the copy from the report.
Okay, so in the footnote that says you relied on Maislin is inaccurate.
Objection.
Exactly. It's an echo.
How many footnotes in your report did you not actually rely on?
So having gone through it, Dr. Maislin's specific paper was the only footnote that was left that was inaccurate.
Okay, so there were other footnotes that were not included in Appendix CC, but are still included as footnotes. Why is that?
Objection.
I'm not sure I understand what you're asking me.
There are 6 other footnote citations that reflect publications that are not otherwise listed in Appendix CC. Why is that?
Objection.
I do not know.
So how are we supposed to know what you
Oh, sorry.
relied on based on certain materials cited and certain materials not being included in your Appendix C?
Objection.
Should be from my Appendix C and from my footnote.
Okay, but in some cases, what is in footnotes actually is not something you've relied on.
The only example of that is Dr. Maislin's report, article.
Why didn't you remove that footnote?
Objection. You can answer again.
It was a bit of an echo from versioning, so it should have been removed.
What does an echo mean?
It means that it wasn't taken out when the content itself was removed.
What content did you remove?
I don't remember the specific way that I positioned it, but it was in one of the drafts, one of the draft versions.
Okay, and when you cite the 4 expert reports, Dr. Maislin, Dr. Humphreys, Mr. Collada, and Mr. Kinrich, did you review only the expert reports, or did you also review their underlying data?
I reviewed some of the data packages, yes.
Okay, so what data packages did you review?
I'm sorry. So the ones that were given to me as part of the expert submission, I reviewed.
Okay, so you reviewed all of the backup.
That was provided to me, yes.
Okay, and did you review all of the backup data?
I personally read through it, yes.
Read through it, but I'm talking about the actual data. Did you personally review all of the data in their backup materials?
Dr. Maislin's, yes. Dr. Humphreys, yes. For Collada and Kinrich, I don't remember the data packages.
Okay, and did you review all of the materials that any of these experts cited in their reports?
Did I review each of the articles that were cited? No.
Did you review any of the articles that they cited?
Yes, some.
So if there were articles that they cited that you reviewed, did you list them in Appendix C?
No, because they were part of the expert submission. So for instance, with Dr. Maislin, she provided a myriad of different academic articles. I may have reviewed some of them, for instance, as part of my job of reviewing the expert submission.
How are we supposed to understand which ones you reviewed and which ones you didn't?
Objection.
So to my knowledge, it was my job to review all of the expert submissions, but relying on them for my report is different.
So if you didn't list it in Appendix C, then it's your testimony that they are irrelevant to your report.
Objection.
It means I did not rely on them for my report.
What does that mean to you, not relying on them?
I did not take content or context into my report.
Okay, so you said that you reviewed Dr. Maislin's data set. How many pieces of social media items do you understand that Dr. Maislin reviewed for purposes of her report?
She listed 1.1 million approximately.
Okay, and you testified that you've reviewed all of them.
Objection.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. So could you clarify?
Well, you testified that you reviewed all of the data that Dr. Maislin provided.
Yes, I looked through the data set.
Okay, so did the data set include all of the social media items that comprised her report?
I did not go into each individual line of data, like row of data, and read them verbatim.
Okay, your data set is 96% smaller than Dr. Maislin's, right?
Objection.
My data set is 44,000.
And that's 96% smaller than 1.1 million, right?
Objection.
44,000 is my data set, yeah.
Okay, well, can you explain how you can be confident that your data set is representative when Dr. Maislin's is 96% larger?
Size is not a signifier of accuracy I would say.
Right. So I'm asking, how could you ensure that your 43,992 posts were a representative sample?
Objection. You can answer again.
Yeah, so I would say representative is extremely difficult. I would actually argue that neither my data set nor Dr. Maisling's set is representative of the overall universe that encompasses Blake Lively during the given periods of time that we looked at, because it's physically impossible based on the data that is available to either of us.
Understood. So you cannot, as you sit here today, represent that your data set is representative of the full data set that would be reflective of the Blake Lively related content during this time period.
Objection. You can answer again.
So representative would first have to be defined, representative of the entire mass of data for any given time period. No one's data set is representative unless you're looking at a social media platform looking at their own data. So nobody with access to second party or third party data, which would have any of the experts involved in this trial, would not have access to representative data based on the entire universe.
I'm asking you specifically about your report. So if you can stay focused on yourself and your own data set.
Objection.
How would you define representative in the context of your, that's still you, Jesus.
How would you define representative in the context of your report?
So I would define representative in my report because representative isn't, so I wouldn't define representative in my report because representative isn't necessary for the data analysis.
Okay, so what is your data set? What is your data set comprised of? What does it show?
Objection.
It shows 5 different social media networks. So I was a representative from the diversity of the social media platforms that I looked at, which was higher than Dr. Maisling's, for instance. I looked at X, Reddit, Instagram, YouTube, and sorry, I'm missing one. Sorry, I'm blanking on the 5th one. Maybe Snapchat.
But what is...
Oh, that was just me. Sorry.
But what is, it's just representative of what posts hit on the search terms. Is that what it's representative of?
So I'm going to not use the word representative because I think we need to define what representative means. My data is based on the keywords that were accessible for public posts, similar to, again, anybody not using first-party data.
Okay, well, how would you use the term representative generally in your everyday life?
Objection.
Representative in my everyday life?
Hold on. Do you mean as a verb or a noun?
Answer the question as you understand it.
Go ahead.
So having a research background, I would use representative in the context of, does this represent the majority of individuals within a class, a segment, a majority of minority, or a majority of information available?
Okay, is it your testimony that your data set meets your definition of representative?
Objection. You can answer again.
My data set and no one else's data set, unless it's the first party, would be representative of the keywords around Blake Lively.
Okay, so just speaking about your data set, I just want to make sure I understand. Adopting your definition of representative, it's your testimony that your data set is not representative of the majority of the individual statements about Blake Lively during this time period?
Objection.
Is that right? I just want to understand what your testimony is.
Same objection.
It's not possible for a data set to be quote unquote representative of all of the social media discussions around Blake Lively unless you are a first party that has access to the data, such as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc.
Okay, so if you are a scientist and you're conducting an experiment, don't you need to create a representative sample? Otherwise, what is it that you're trying to conclude?
Objection.
So when looking at social media data, it's not about a representative sample. It's about statistically significant sample, because keywords and in of themselves means that you're not looking at the representative sample because you're only using a specific amount of keywords. There are a myriad of different combinations that represent Blake Lively globally across social media. There's also accounts that are inaccessible by second-party individuals trying to look at and analyze data.
Okay, pause. Is it okay if we go to 50 and then call it a night? Because I'm getting tired.
That's good. We're on 47, so
yeah,
that's fine.
I need a break.
No,
I'm taking
you need a 24-hour break.
Hours.
Yeah, you're gonna need like 18.
Not on my 9 minutes.
Not on my 9 minutes. We're on the record. No, we're going off the record. I want this on the record. Yeah, we can do that.
So if you were to identify an entirely separate set of 43,992 social media items, like entirely separate, there's no overlap between the two, how do you know that results would be the same?
Again, the question would be, what is the second set of data about?
Well, you said that you can't possibly identify everything, even if it hits on search terms, right?
Objection.
No one can. That's not first party.
Right. So what if someone else searches for 43,992 using search terms that came up with a different data set than the 43,992 that were part of your data set? How could you guarantee that the results would be the same?
Objection.
So by replicating the subscription that I referenced, so Apify in this case, by representing the prompts or the keywords that I use when inputting them into Apify for the same time period, they are replicatable based on, again, that criteria.
Okay, so it's your testimony that the 43,992 represents the entire universe of all social media items that hit on your keywords.
Objection.
Is that your testimony?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, is it your testimony that the 43,992 items represents the universe of all social media items that hit on your search terms?
The data set that I referenced as part of my expert report is the complete data set that I was able to receive from Apify based on doing the analysis.
Okay, so what if someone else was able to use a different Apify tool and come up with 43,992 items that are not duplicative of your data set?
Objection. You can answer again.
I didn't finish the question.
Okay.
How do you know that the outcome would be the same?
Same objection and also compound. Go ahead. You can answer again.
So a couple of things. The first part of your question is, in order to use the same tool, they would have to use the same inputs and they would have access to the same underlying data set through Apify. So if that is done, then...
That's not what my question is. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to make sure you're answering what my question is.
Excuse me, then don't interrupt her. Let her finish. And if you have to follow up, then ask. Finish your answer, Miss Alexander.
If someone were to replicate the process that I went through the tool that I went through using the exact same methods that I did, they should receive during the same time period, they should receive the same output from Apify that I received.
That's not my question, though. If someone used a different tool on Apify that identified an entirely different data set than the one that you identified, but also hit on your search terms, how can you guarantee that the results of your study would be the same as the study of that other data set?
Objection. You can answer again.
That's a lot of hypotheticals that I'm not able to answer.
Okay, let's not make it a hypothetical. You know, Dr. Maislin's set includes more than 1 million social media items, right?
Objection.
Her data sets includes 1.1 million, yes.
How do you know that applying your methodology to her data set would result in the same outcome?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the second part of the question?
If you were to run Dr. Maislin's...
Could I make a suggestion?
No, you can't. I'm in the middle of a question.
I'm sorry. If she's telling you she doesn't understand the question.
I'm rephrasing it.
Excuse me, and she's explaining to you why she doesn't understand it. I'd suggest you wait until she's finished so you can completely and fully understand why she's confused.
We're going to go off the record. I'm going to call the court about speaking objections. So let's go off the record, please.
Go ahead.
We're off the record. It is 2:53 p.m. Recess. Whereupon a conference call was had with the court, which has been transcribed and bound in a separate transcript.
Do you guys want to insert the transcript? You guys want to read the court transcript? Because that was a kiki. That was funny.
It's gonna be more
Okay.
juicy than this.
No, that was funny. It was so funny. Okay.
We are back
Wait.
on the record. Oh,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
we are back on the record. It is 3:58 p.m. Wait, how long was the
I mean,
break?
this could be a good stopping
They
point.
left at 2:53 and
Ooh.
came back. It
That was
was
over
good,
an hour.
it was a good hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Long phone call.
I was gonna.
Oh
keep
my God.
going.
I
Are
see
you
why
exhausted?
now. You guys, hold on. I see why we were never able to call in, because this happened at 2:53. Wait, are we assuming this happened in Eastern time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
remember, we got the notice, like the notice didn't pop up on Core Listener to like the call happened at 3:25. This call was scheduled for 3:25, but we didn't get the notice till like 4 p.m. So when all of us tried to call in, the call was over because 2:53 is when they had the issue. They jumped on a call just barely 25 minutes after this. The call happened and the call was pretty short because they were back on the record at 2:58. So by the time the court could even fix their system to say there's a call happening, this had already been done enough where the damn deposition had already been resumed. And we were all on the call. At least I was with like another person, like, hey, is anybody there? Is anybody there? They were done. Okay.
Miss Ashley, do you mind repeating back the last question I asked?
Okay, if you give me a few minutes, I'll have to go all the way back.
Oh no, that's okay. That's okay. I'm good. Miss Alexander, I was asking if applying the methodology from your report to the data set in Dr. Maislin's analysis would lead to the same conclusion.
That is not something that I would be able to say.
Why is that?
So Dr. Maislin used an LLM in order to get her outputs. I cannot replicate based on what she's given me the outcome of how she's been able to get those outcomes because it's an LLM. If I were to use my data set, if I were to use my prompts or queries in an LLM, specifically the ones that she used, I'm not sure how it would come out.
Okay, but I'm asking if you were to apply whatever methodology you apply to draw conclusions about your data set, if you applied your methodology to your data set, would the outcome be the same?
Objection.
I would assume not, because they're different raw data sets.
Right. So the outcome of your methodology depends upon what your data set was comprised of.
Outcomes of my analysis comes from the underlying raw data.
And if it were to take 43,000 of the social media items from Dr. Maislin's data set that was not part of the 43,000 data items in your data set, you would not be able to determine with any certainty what the outcome would be. Is that right?
So because Dr. Maislin used an LLM, even if she were to use the same prompt again, for instance, the outputs would be different because it is an LLM that she used. So it's hard for me to say if my data was applied within that LLM, what the output would be.
But I'm asking about your methodology that you applied. If you were to apply your methodology to another 43,000 media items that were not part of your data set, would your opinions be the same?
Objection.
I wouldn't be able to say that until I do the actual analysis.
Okay, so your opinions are solely based on these 43,000 social media items.
Objection.
Yay. So my outputs are based on the analysis that I did based on the APIs that pulled raw data from each of the 5 platforms. So I'm taking the data based on the time frame, the queries I provided, and I'm doing analysis of that raw data.
Right. Analysis of the 43,992 items that comprise your data set.
Correct.
In your report, you list 11 opinions. Are those all the opinions you intend to offer in this matter?
Yes, that's everything I included in the report.
You don't intend to offer any other opinions that are not listed in your report at the section on your opinions, right?
Not based on any of the data that I have already looked at. If new information comes into play, then I can assert additional opinions. But based on everything, all the research I've done, the analysis, those are my opinions.
So today, as you sit here, the opinion section in your report reflects all of your opinions that you are offering in this case.
Yes, based on everything that is in the report, those are my opinions.
Okay, are there any opinions that are not offered in your report that you are offering in this case?
Objection.
If new information were to come to light or additional information were to come to light after the report, then I may have additional opinions. But everything I've offered is based on the research that I've done.
I understand in the future you may supplement, but I'm trying to get at a very basic question. Are there any opinions as you sit here today that you are offering that you did not articulate in your current amended report?
No, they're not.
Okay, thank you. You use the term organic nearly 90 times in your report. Does it mean the same thing every time you use the term?
I try to stay consistent with my use of organic, so I would have to confirm each of the times I've used it. But in general, yes, there should be consistency with the underlying definition of the term.
Okay, what is the underlying definition of the term organic?
So I look at organic as being a signature of non-manipulative traffic usage, etc.
And what does non-manipulative mean?
Basic user talking, commenting, liking, upping content across social media platforms.
Okay, and you use the term actually, does the term organic, is that the definition rooted in any academia?
I don't know how it's rooted in academia. It's rooted in practice as a term that is used daily.
Okay, so as you just defined, organic is based on your own definition of the term.
Objection.
The way that I defined it was based on industry definition of the term.
What industry?
Social media technology.
Okay, so what is your basis for stating that social media technology as an industry uses the term organic the way that you just described it?
Having worked in technology and social media.
Okay, so it's based on
going to conferences. Sorry.
No, you go. I'm sorry.
Having spoken at industry conferences on the topic, having written a book using that verbiage, yes.
And your report uses the term legitimate news cycles. What did you mean when you use the term legitimate?
When I say legitimate news cycles, I meant news that does not contain misinformation. So there are legitimate news cycles on the movie launching. That is a legitimate news cycle. The movie exists. The movie launched, and there was news around that movie launch.
So what about news about how the film was marketed? Would that be considered legitimate?
Objection.
So marketing activity would be considered legitimate when it comes to PR, press coverage, because again, it's things that are taken from interviews with actors, actresses, producers, whomever is involved in a film. There is news coverage by a slew of different media sources, things of that nature.
Okay, and so does it matter what the content of the communication is? If it's solely about marketing, it's legitimate, irrespective of what the contents is?
I'm not sure I understand. Are you saying if the content is paid marketing or organic marketing?
No, let's do a hypothetical. Someone says something about the marketing of the film that turns out not to be true. Would that, in your opinion, be considered legitimate because it had to do with marketing, even though it is not a truthful statement?
So based on what I understood the question, I wouldn't call that marketing, number one, because it's not marketing of the film. That would be commentary around it. So it could be, I don't know, something happened in the news that had nothing to do with the film or the actors, actresses, etc. So in that end of itself, could have legitimate properties, or it could have illegitimate properties, depending on where it came from.
What if an actor was talking about the marketing of the film? Would that be legitimate or not legitimate?
If they were talking about the marketing of the film and they were being honest, and I would say, yes, that would be legitimate. Alternatively, if they were saying something that was untrue, knowingly, it could be misinformation.
So how do you tell what is legitimate or illegitimate? It sounds a little bit subjective.
Objection.
Well, one way is by simply looking at it as, is this true or is this not true?
And so you would have to do that as at a post by post analysis
to look at if something was legitimate as part of a news cycle. So there would be additional patterns.
Okay, we stopped there.
Oh, we said we're stopping on 50. Can I just finish the sentence? I don't.
Yeah. I mean, you technically did finish the sentence, but I know what you mean.
Oh, it says there will be additional patterns. Oh, then she keeps going.
Yeah.
Okay, we can stop there.
Okay. All right, folks. Thank you for spending over 4 hours with us.
How was that? That is why. I mean, we spent the first 3 hours making sure she's qualified, and then the last hours discrediting the qualification. So I guess we're on the right track. The next 5 hours should be amazing.
I mean, and she's gonna have another hour.
More. I mean, oh, you mean the supplemental deposition?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's
Mhm.
only restricted to asking about whatever the conversation she had with that counsel. They can't ask her
Yeah.
anything other than whatever happened with the lawyer that she said contacted her, that they can't seem to determine who that is.
Yeah, that would
And
be
that's
key.
all she can talk about. So it's not like they can like go at her like this for another hour again. But you guys, that was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
feel
like
like we barely scratched the surface.
I know.
Just
It was
barely
very-
got her qualified.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, with the questions and answers of the part where I'm like doing this, like Cardi B face, like, girl, she just answered. It's right there. It's in your question. If you don't have the exact same circumstances, same search terms, same
It's
time,
not, you're not gonna
you
yield the same
cannot
result.
produce the same thing. Like if you have the same data, software, whatever qualifiers, then you'll produce the same thing. Oh, gosh, it was so
100%. That was
I have
a
to say
lot.
that AI detector thing is just total BS. Like she was
Mhm.
saying, like this says it's 100% AI detective. This one says it's
80.
80 or
This one
whatever.
says 70.
It's like they're different numbers too. So it's like your data isn't even consistent.
Yeah.
So like, obviously it's wrong. Like at least one of them. And
Yeah. Then she's like, from your 200-page whatever report, do you know that 100 and something is AI generated?
yeah, I will
And
say
then-
she was definitely obviously more prepared for that line of questioning
Yeah.
than she was for that first part of where she was doing the qualifications, and then this last part
Yeah.
where you could just tell where
And
she's not prepared, doesn't know what she's talking about.
And I think she definitely set herself up well in the beginning, making sure, like, even with her students, like making sure she didn't come out saying, like, yes, I know how my students use AI for homework because I use this tool and I can catch you. And the thing with AI too that makes it tricky these days is even when you look up something in AI, the AI itself tells you like the sources where it pulled it from, right? Like it will tell you, oh, this came from people, this came from TMZ, this came from this. So for a report that's heavily cited, from what we can tell, if you're gonna put it in an AI search query or whatever, I'm sure it's gonna tell you there's some AI in there because they tell you like this stuff is coming from like these places. So I'm not well versed in the AI situation. I feel like Bocce, this could be your you might have a better answer for us than we do.
I've seen TikToks where people are like, I wrote this article and the people the professor put it through the AI thing and it said no and he flunked me because he said I didn't write it.
Yeah.
And like that person was devastated that they're going to be flunked out of the class because it's something that they wrote. So I'm like, it sounds like if AI can't get it together across 3 different checks.
I will say
Somebody said though, real quick, AI doesn't tell you where it comes from. I'm sorry, but every time I've looked at anything at ChatGPT, it typically will tell you, like on the end, it gives you like little bubbles of where they pulled that information from. Like it tells you at
You
least
still have to go to it and read it because sometimes it does hallucinate like they were like like they were saying.
Go ahead, Bocce. Yeah.
Like for example, one of the things that became very much associated with AI because of ChatGPT was the M dash.
Mm-hmm.
And people use M dashes depending on like how they were taught to utilize M dashes.
Mhm.
So different schooling, different age. So there's people that use M dash naturally, but now people are like, oh, if it's an M dash, you must have used ChatGPT or you must have used AI, and that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
And so it's so it's an interesting thing. I think that it doesn't necessarily some of the sentence that she said, I was like, how would AI even know
that?
Genuinely.
Somebody said AI told me Cassidy O'Connell's voice was AI. Her smooth variable.
Oh wait,
Anna, could I just say AI would definitely pick you up though? Like I'm not even convinced you're not AI, Hannah. The way you were doing the stenographer voice.
Oh yeah.
It is.
I was doing my robot voice.
PM. It is 2:13 p.m. You sounded like the airport.
I did that on purpose.
It was so good. You definitely sounded like Delta flight 2437 is departing from gate number whatever.
Yeah.
It sounded so AI.
See some folks here saying English major here. I do, in fact, use M dashes. Also, I literally stopped using M dashes because of AI.
AI. Yeah.
I
No,
Yeah,
that's-
I mean,
that's because of that.
same because nobody wants to be accused of using AI or like it not being necessarily their own thoughts. However, it's so yeah. I don't know when she was bringing up certain sentences. I'm like, how did it determine that?
yeah.
Like, what is it in a sentence? Now, there's certain things for sure that I see and I immediately know. They most likely use ChatGPT. Every time I hear the word foster often, or the word foster or care or clarity,
You
or
think
there's just
those are
certain words.
indicators of AI?
It doesn't have to be, but if it's the way it's written, because I see it enough used in Chat GPT that when I read it on anywhere, I'm like, that's probably Chat GPT, simply because there's a certain like word they tend to love to use the word care and clarity and foster and all these different particular words. They tend to repeat certain words a lot.
Okay.
So obviously foster, clarity, care is in and of itself is not going to say that's AI,
Yeah.
but it's the way it's the sentence is constructed.
Yeah.
There was a comment on here that said like, "Oh, my school doesn't allow us to use AI."
Mhm.
The thing is, that's almost practically like not possible because some of
Yeah,
the
now.
software inadvertently in your email, in your phone, it already uses AI. So if the school
Mhm.
says sign this document that you can't use AI, it's like, well, then I got to throw away my phone because a lot of the software, a lot of the apps, a lot they just use it, and it's not like it's obvious AI. They use it on the back end. So in
Yeah.
some way you are using AI.
The crazy thing is the university telling you not to use AI, the system you probably used to turn in your homework, the system Blackboard, all these things you used to do your homework are all probably AI these days. So what do you mean?
Yeah,
I use AI?
I think they use AI as shorthand for like,
Mhm.
oh, they think
Fake,
Chat
fake
GPT.
work. Yeah.
They
Yes.
think Chat GPT, and not realizing that first and foremost, we trained AI a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
So we have been using this for a long time. They just didn't call it AI. They didn't let us know it was AI. But it's even in the answer of Nicole Alexander, right? Where it's like you are using AI all the time. You may think that you're not, but you are. And I think it's because the majority of folks think of AI as very specific. They think of it as Chat GPT, or they think about it as deep fakes,
Mhm.
or what other things do they think about for AI? But I think ChatGPT is one of the biggest ones that they think about. But that is like literally like kiddie pool.
Yeah.
The reality is, if you're a content creator, there's so many AI tools
Even on
because
this form, even on the software.
yeah, StreamYard will grab, like AI grabs
They'll create
highlights.
reels out of this live if we wanted it to. When
Exactly.
this ends, we could have 100 reels done in the next 5 minutes that I never have to edit.
Yeah. So that's what I think people don't understand. Like every time people are like, I would never use AI, and I'm like, but you already are.
You
Yeah.
already
You
are.
may think you may think you're not because you don't think you're not
Actively
putting
on
something
ChatGPT
specifically on
yourself.
GPT, but you are using AI.
Yeah.
And
And
just
like even
connecting
now,
oh, sorry,
ahead,
just
Karen. No, no.
connecting that to Miss Alexander's comments. Some of the things that Meryl wanted her to be like, aha, you did, like she can't, like you could tell in her answer, it's like, well, that's not possible. That's not because of the inherent technicalities behind
Yeah.
that line of work.
Yeah. And she, like you said, even Carol, I don't, you weren't here earlier, but in the beginning, she actually answered about the fact that even Google, your Gmail has AI now. So if you say you don't use AI, I don't know what you're talking about. And down to even Google as a search engine, people don't realize now when you search something, the first thing that offers you is AI overview. So if you're
And which
looking
I
at
will tell
something,
you, it sucks.
yeah, if you're
Google
looking,
Google AI, horrible.
I don't use it. Like I don't read like definitions from there. But like if you're looking up something and the first thing you're reading is the AI overview, you're cooked. You use AI. People look up like, oh, workout routines now. AI ChatGPT can make you take a picture of who you are, putting your weight, and it will spit out a whole workout routine for you. Like we're cooked, chat. We're in the era of AI. And then somebody recently, I saw a post on Instagram where like 2 years ago, somebody tried to use AI to make a picture of Will Smith, and the picture was like deformed and horrible.
Oh, the video of him eating spaghetti.
Yes. And versus 2025, make a video of Will Smith eating spaghetti. And I dead ass thought I was on a date with Will Smith eating spaghetti. Like, chat, that's Will Smith. Like, this conversation is training AI, damn it. It's listening to what we're saying. It's figuring out how to fix itself.
I mean, think about YouTube and TikTok in regards to algorithms. Why do they know what to feed us? AI. Yep. AI teaches them what our preferences are, what we like to look at. So if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're watching things on TikTok, and you have your For You page, and you have all of these things, it's because AI algorithm has taught them what you're going to look at, what you're going to watch, and they want you on their apps.
Yeah.
So, so as much as I think people think that they're above it and they're not involved in it, yeah.
Campbell, I have news for you. As long as you're on YouTube and you're here, you haven't gotten rid of AI. You're deep in it.
You would have to literally get off of anything that
that turns on.
That's not. Yeah, you don't have to do AI search to be using AI, and I think that's the biggest. That's the biggest thing that people misunderstand about AI. They think it's something as simple as I'm making an active choice.
Yeah,
but it's like literally, if you watch Netflix, I'm sure they have algorithms there that's being done by AI.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Well,
go into your grocery store these days now. If you're using the self-checkout, if you're doing this, like everything, and that's just what we are, guys. It's not going away. You just need to find a way to embrace it. Find a way to better your life with it. Like I said, like I'm asking AI to spit out a workout routine for me to make me drop 45 pounds before trial. Like, come on, AI, do your big one.
Tell you to cut off a limb or two.
Yeah.
I think also too is I think people need to understand that they have a picture of what AI means, and so they use that as a blanket statement of what they think AI is.
Yeah.
And so that's whatever they're saying, I'm not ever going to engage in it, is because they have a specific image of what that is. And so
Leo, please.
But
in a weird way though, AI is Ozempic. It solves all your problems like that.
but all to say, like, I understand people's stance on it. And I mean, I think every time new technology has ever emerged, there's always been fears around it, right? Like whenever anything new, even the internet, when it first came out, right? People had concerns about the internet in regards to, because there's always going to be conversations around ethics.
Yeah.
Right? Like we do need to have conversation about ethics, environmental impacts. Those are the conversations people are always having. And so it's all valid. And so
also don't include me in that conversation either. No, I'm just kidding.
Which conversation?
I'm just joking. I'm just making a reference from earlier today.
From earlier.
Don't include me in that conversation. No, I'm just kidding.
She's funny.
If Casey is still on the stream though, it's boccegohawks@gmail.com.
We're gonna end this with an AI song or what?
How appropriate. Thanks for bringing it up.
You know what, Carol? You are still in your petty bag. I can respect it. I will say this.
Because it is AI generated, is my lyrics, but it is got AI music, AI voice. Those that are in the space right now that do have strong convictions about that, I just want to make sure that you recognize that. And
you gotta hop off right now.
So yeah, if I don't
music.
I don't want you to feel conflicted by that. I'm gonna play Self-Righteous.
What about the 9-minute? That one was so good.
I played it in the beginning, so I'm just.
You did? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Self-Righteous.
What do you call it? Oh my God, I didn't see Theon in the chat at all. Can we talk about how I started yesterday really well? Now that I think about it, I just want to toot my own horn real quick. just from the beginning of the chat, I knew I was going to be a winner because I said Theon and everybody was like, the one.
I always said the one and I was wrong.
And I thought I was wrong, right? And then Lauren comes in. I think it's the one. Bocce, I think it's the one. I think it's the one. And I was like, that looks like Theon. Turns out it was Theon. And then it turns out I was going to be the winner, even after going through 16 emotions. So I just want to remind you all of that. Wow. I can't let it go. And it will be the last time I play, by the way. I'm hosting moving forward. I can't do that to myself again. Like
you say that we are going to be playing again.
I know. I'm going to be like, I'm going to be like, the meme with the guy looking for. Yeah, I'm going to be that. I'm going to be that. Yep. Anyway, don't mean to toot my own horn, but toot. Okay. All right, Bocce, let's leave with some AI music. We appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Hannah, you were an amazing stenographer.
Yes, totally.
So
you were amazing.
I think every day we're finding people to like join us now. So Theon is the chat representative for game night. Hannah is officially the stenographer, videographer, a fourth person if we ever need another member. And you guys, we appreciate all of you. Like I know we say it all the time, but legitimately, it means a lot that you guys will hang out with us for 4.5 hours.
Yes.
Before Christmas Eve. Honestly, we appreciate you guys. So thank you.
What's y'all's excuse? I'm Jewish. What's
And it's like, I don't know what y'all talking about. Hanukkah's over.
Yeah, Hanukkah's over.
Hanukkah's done though. Oh my Lord. But we really appreciate you guys. And this is going to be on all our channels. So Replay Crew, we appreciate you guys as well. We know you all have lives. We're the crazies. So Bocce's going to leave us with some AI music. And guys, remember to subscribe to all our channels, like, hype, do what you got to do. Tell a friend to come find us as you trickle your way out. Have a safe night. Have a good whatever you're doing the rest of the week.
And like Sarah said, who are the losers that are going to be reading the docket? That would be me.
It's us three.
I will say this right before I play this song. Oh no, I'm not gonna say it. I was gonna give background to the song "Self-Righteous," but I'm not going to. Never mind.
But legitimately, if you're in New York and you know a way to get press passes, if these two won't beg, I'm begging. I'm too cute to stand in line, guys. Come May. So please, if you could get a girl a press pass, thank you so much. We appreciate
Hannah, what were you saying?
I was saying something.
Oh, I thought you were about to say something.
You said you're not saying anything. Hannah wanted to hear what you had to say.
Oh, yeah. No, I was going to explain the background for Self-Righteous, but I'm not going to. I'll just
let's listen and see if we'll pick up on it.
I was going to show y'all my cat, but he left.
Oh, sorry. I see the cat picture at least.
We see the picture.
I have two orange boys.
Oh, I'm scared of cats.
Oh,
like legitimately. Like I've been stuck in the basement for 4 hours because there was a cat upstairs.
My cat would be scared of you too because he's scared of everyone.
Yeah, we'll both be like this. Don't move. No sudden movements. Okay. All right, you guys, let's go.
All right.
You used to be so even keeled. You used to care about facts. But when you spiral, you really spiral. Things get so out of hand. You keep pointing your finger at everybody else. You sit so high and mighty with all your self-righteousness. You're just like her, starting your own whisper campaign. Feign innocence, act like you care to protect, while your friends push the lies in the comment section. You keep pointing your finger at everybody else. You sit so high and mighty with all your self-righteousness. I hate how you act like you're not dangerous. You're dangerous. I you're so self-righteous, but you've got your own unclean hands.
I got real passionate about that.
That was good. No, I like that.
I was saying that with my whole chest.
Everybody that's still here, please make sure to go follow docketupdates.com and Bocce Go Hawks. I'm throwing everything in the chat right now, their YouTube pages.
I'm updating
Carol-
the depositions page. Would you guys want those 4 pages expanded into 1 page, or just leave it up there?
I mean, prefer it to be 1 page, but I know that would be a lot of work for you.
Yeah, but we figured it out. You don't have to do all that. We figured it out how to maneuver it for 4 hours. We could do it for another like 3. Everybody else can suffer. You don't have to make it easier for them.
I got you,
But
chat.
you guys, please, Docket Updates is at 523 subscribers as I'm looking right now. Everybody's homework as you're trickling down and leaving this live. Please get our girl to 530. How about that? Just 7 of you. Not too much. Not too much. A little cute. A little something. A little shimmy. Just 7 of you that haven't subscribed to Carol. Please go do that. Carol is quite literally right now working as she's on this live to make sure if you want to read this deposition on your own, it's easier. You don't have to zigzag through the 4 pages.
I'm going to add it to the non-party witnesses, or should I add a section for experts?
So please go follow our girl, Carol. I'm posting Bocce. Oh, we're 2 away from our goal. We got 525, you guys.
Oh, awesome. Thank you
so much. You guys work fast.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job.
Quick question. Do you guys think that experts should have their own section under the deposition?
Yes.
I think, we should have experts section. Okay. Yeah.
We love organization.
Okay.
Okay. So Leo said earlier, now I cannot hear it, Hannah. Leo said earlier, you sounded like Lauren. And I couldn't, like, in that moment, I was in the zone as Nicole Alexander, so I couldn't. But now that I'm removed and I wasn't looking at any of our faces, when you said that, it definitely sounded like Lauren just said that.
Honestly, I'm flattered.
See, that doesn't sound like Lauren to you guys? That sounded so
What if it is?
Have you seen me and her in a room together? No.
No, the only thing is Hannah has been way too tame and way too calm for 4 hours for it to be Lauren. We would have seen a shoulder pop and the C word would have been uttered like 10 times already. That's the evidence.
That for my second stream.
I don't want to threaten you with a good time. I don't want to threaten you with a good time, Hannah. We appreciate you guys so much. Christina, come and grab the power switch. You know I can't do it.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate
everything. Let me go first, because if you leave first, it's not going to end up on your channel.
Okay. So I'll wait.
Let me leave. Okay, guys, I'm legitimately leaving. Thank you. We appreciate you. When do you guys want to finish this? That's the question. I'm asking you two girls.
Oh. I mean, I don't know.
No?
I'm working tomorrow. And
Christmas
then
Eve?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm only off on Christmas because I'm taking off February 16 to March 16 to go on vacation.
True that. Okay, so how about this? The rest of the pages, because we had to move our schedules around to make today work. You're going to get it regardless. Whether it be we record it on our own time and we split it amongst our channels, I think is something we can do, because it's still at least like a good 2.5 to 3 hours left that we can probably record it, put part 1, part 2, part 3 on our individual channels. That way you guys can watch it on your own times and we don't accost you for another 4 hours. So that's something we can look forward to maybe during this weekend at some point if we are able to ever get together. What we're going to do is probably you're going to find part 1 from me, part 2 from Bocce, maybe part 3 from Carol, but you're going to get the rest of this deposition. Whether it's another live, Friday live, you said, Leo, it's up to these ladies and if my son complies. But we will see. We will get it to you some way, somehow. We're not going to leave you hanging.
We probably could, though. I mean, it depends on Carol, but I probably could on Friday.
We'll make it work regardless. We'll figure it out and we'll get back to you guys. But thank you so much for being here. I'm actually hitting the power switch. I'm not being afraid. Hannah, we appreciate you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And maybe we need to call Hannah when we pre-record so she can do.
Ooh.
I'll do my robot voice anytime you want.
For sure. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a good night and a safe night. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. We are out of here. Oh. Oh my Lord.